Good morning, everybody. What's going on? Welcome back to Movie Mornings. I am your host, Don Martino. Thank you guys for joining so much. If you haven't done so already, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave some feedback in the comment section, share this with your friends, and hit that bell for notifications. We have an exciting announcement for everybody today. I can't wait to get into all that. We are adding somebody new, but we'll talk about that here in just 1 second. But before we get started with all that, I would like to introduce you to the one that you know, the man who would watch 12 more Venom movies if they made them. It's Mr. Jose Espinel. Jose, what's going on, my guy?
What's up, man? You're not wrong with that statement. I definitely would.
Yeah, I know it.
I'm good. I'm glad to be here. It's good to be here, and I'm excited to get into everything that we have in store for you guys today. So
yeah,
stick around.
Absolutely. Yeah, all right. So look, guys, I said we were adding somebody new, and I meant it. Today, we are going to announce him. It is the one, the only, you know him from stereo, Mr. David Tresch. David, how's it going? Did I pronounce it
excellent? That
properly?
Yeah, I'm only upset that you didn't intro me like Spider-Man 2002 Tobey Maguire.
Oh.
Where you make me a nickname. But other than that, yes, that's excellent. Thank you.
Well, it's David Tresch, though, right?
Yes, perfect. You got it.
Dave the Pavement.
There you go. Like Bruce Campbell. That sucks. No, yeah, look, no, David Tresch is perfect. Thank you so much, Dave, for joining the show. How's it going, buddy? Are you doing okay?
Yeah, excellent. Now that I'm here, thanks for having me, guys.
Not a problem. Glad you're here. Glad to have you here. And yeah, we just thought this was a really good move. You know, we definitely needed that third voice. Jose, I mean, how are you feeling about the change?
I'm actually really excited because we definitely have been needing a third person, and I know we've done shows with Dave here on stereo, and he's a lot of good fun. We've had conversations with him, off camera as well, and they're always good conversations. I mean, Dave and I had a basically 2-hour conversation the other couple days ago, and it was good fun. So I'm really excited to see what he brings to the table for this channel.
Absolutely. And I'll be completely transparent with the audience, Jose. I mean, because as well as I do that you and I had a business venture where we did try to get more people and didn't pan out for us.
Yeah,
and Dave kind of just came in clutch for us right there last minute. So, Dave, we appreciate that very much, sir. And thank you for being here very much and coming in for us. So, yeah. But yeah, the other thing that I want to talk about too is you guys are going to notice a format change in the show a little bit. We are doing things a little bit differently. Overall, the goal of the show is the same idea, but you guys are definitely going to notice a little bit of a format change in the way we do things here today. And you guys just got to let us know how you like it. I think it's really exciting and fun stuff. So yeah, it's going to be fun. So yeah, I mean, Jose, again, format changes, I mean, how do you like them? What's your thoughts on those?
No, I definitely think that this change, although what we were doing, the two of us, was good, I definitely do think that this channel needed a change, just because, YouTube's changing, it's always changing. There's always new things that need to come about, and YouTube is better in groups than, just solo or in duos. So it's definitely great that we got, a third person to join the channel and kind of change things up a bit. So.
Yeah. Dude, I am excited to have Dave here.
Same,
and
honestly.
Let me tell you why. Because, look, this is the thing, right? And Jose, you know this as well as anybody. Dave watches a movie in which I would never fucking watch, and that he tells Jose to watch it.
Wow.
And you guys both watch it, and then you guys could both bring that review to us.
True.
The movie is Marry Me that we're going to be talking about, and I'll let you guys talk about that here in a little bit because I know you guys both watched it. I would never watch it. I'm not saying never. You guys both say it's good. I'll take your word for it, so there's that. But in my opinion, it's just like, I don't know. You know me, I'm not like a huge Jennifer Lopez fan, so there's that. But I'll let you guys. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say that I always like when Latinos are brought into movies because they always bring something different to the world of movies. For example, like Encanto, that was like a perfect example of a Latino movie that I really enjoyed. And so, especially when it's musicians, like I never thought Maluma would be in a movie, but I honestly think that he did an incredible job. in
Right.
terms of this movie. So
Right.
I really enjoy when they do those kind of things. So that's why that was one big reason why I really enjoyed this movie.
Fair enough.
So,
Fair enough, man.
yeah.
All right, look, I mean, we'll let you guys talk about Marry Me in a little bit, but we had to talk about the Super Bowl because honestly, Jose, you and I have definitely not gotten together since then to talk
No,
about
we haven't.
anything, to do
No.
a show. And
No.
Dave, I'm definitely interested in your Super Bowl experience as well here, sir. I'll start with mine, which was fantastic. My favorite Super Bowl ever. Let me just start there because I get, food's cooking. We're having this nice little party. Power goes out. Fourth time in that week, the power's gone out. Power goes out, and we missed the whole first half of the game. Luckily, it was up, for the Super Bowl, or not the Super Bowl, the halftime show, and we caught from the halftime show, so on and so forth. And it sucks because I'm a guy, I usually like to live tweet like my opinions on the trailers and stuff coming out as they're like coming out, and I didn't get to do that this year. So either way, like it sucked that the power goes out, but all worked out, I guess. At the end of the day, we just had to wait forever to eat and shit, the hot food and all that kind of stuff. But how about you guys?
Yeah.
Dave, how was the Super Bowl for you this year?
Yeah, it was good. Personally, I stopped liking a lot of sports like the NFL. So I still watched it,
Yeah.
for the sake of the good old days when they had less rules and people were allowed to hurt each other. But that aside, it was a pretty good Super Bowl other than the Rams cheating. My girlfriend fell asleep on me almost the entire time until I finally
Controversy.
scooted her off me and escaped.
That's good.
Yep. And then my buddy made some chili that kept me in the bathroom for over an hour. It was very delicious in the moment, but a very, very awful mistake after.
I feel you on that one.
Jose, did you have a good Super Bowl?
I mean, for the most part, it was really just me watching. Like, my sister was there, her boyfriend was there, his cousin was there too. But they were just really just doing homework. They were just waiting for the Super Bowl halftime show and the commercials because that's honestly what half of the people in the world these days wait for. They don't even watch the actual game. But me, I watched the entire game from start to finish, and I really did enjoy it, the game. And as far as the the halftime show and all that, it was good too. I really did enjoy it. It was probably my favorite Super Bowl to date, for sure.
Yeah, no, fair enough. I mean, yeah, for me it was like because yeah, for me obviously it wasn't my favorite. I was being sarcastic about that, but the commercials, some of them were pretty damn good. I'm not gonna lie. Like the Arnold one was great. I definitely enjoyed that one. I enjoyed the Austin Powers throwback. That was also pretty solid and fantastic. I mean, maybe it's a tease for a fourth Austin Powers movie. I'm not sure. So yeah, that could be possible. Who knows? But I just like seeing Mike Myers, back to form, so I thought that was just great. I mean, so I don't know, do you guys have any standout favorite commercials? Obviously the Zendaya one I was all into. Yeah, did anybody have any favorites? Or
I like the one that was just a QR code on the screen and then I scanned it and my phone is broken. No, I'm just kidding. That didn't happen, but that was an interesting commercial. I will say there is some funny commercials this year. I enjoyed them. I don't remember any of them other than getting to see the Doctor Strange full trailer, not the Stranger Things, but Doctor Strange full trailer.
Right.
It's still, of course, no commercial can ever stick out of my head because there's no Danny DeVito M&M commercial anymore, which is the greatest commercial of all time during any Super Bowl.
Yeah. But didn't I mean, yeah, we had to remind you, obviously, that Doctor Strange and Stranger Things are not in the same universe before the show. So,
Yep.
Yeah. So that was a wonderful discussion we were having off air. Probably could put that out there. It's probably recorded, because I know that was during our sound check this morning. So, we could probably put it out there for people to hear.
I know. I guess I would say my favorite commercial was the Lil Dicky Go Puff commercial. Just because.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's just the comedic value of him, and I just love Lil Dicky, and so I know that was one commercial that stuck in my head.
You're a big Lil Dicky guy too, though, aren't you, Dave?
Yeah, I like Lil Dicky a lot. I don't listen to a lot of modern day music, but when I saw the Save That Money music video, I died laughing, and it was one of the greatest things that I've ever seen. So
exactly.
Yeah, big fan of Lil Dicky. I haven't gotten to see his show yet. But,
oh my goodness.
I know there's some news on that for later.
His show is hilarious and I love it. And I'm honestly happy that he's deciding to take a break from the show to work on an album because I've been waiting for a Lil Dicky album for the longest time.
Since the first one, right? Like, because he hasn't
exactly
had one.
since Professional Rapper,
right?
Which is his only album,
right?
And so that's why I'm happy that he's decided to take a break from recording, his show.
That came out ages ago. Like, I feel like
what the first album?
Yeah, like I feel
yeah,
like
that was in like 2014, 15,
Jesus,
something
that
like
was
13
like
maybe.
fresh out of high school or something.
Yeah, and so
time.
that's why I'm glad that he's taking a break from the show and deciding to work on his album, because I've been waiting for one for a long ass time. So that's good. Yeah.
No, fair enough. All right, guys, marry me. What do you got? Who wants to go? Who wants to go? Go ahead, Jose.
Okay. Well, I mean, I enjoyed, J-Lo and Maluma, the whole, relationship they had in there. The Owen Wilson was also, I actually really enjoyed Owen Wilson and the angle that they went with him, the father with the daughter, that, the relationship was complicated. The whole, cheating, Maluma's character cheating on J-Lo's, that was relevant, and it makes sense in Latino cultures. I mean, not just Latino cultures, but it's pretty big in there too. And so then J-Lo's character decided to go with this random white guy to marry. I mean, the whole adventure that they go through was also very, very nice and romantic in a way as well. So all that was very enjoyable, and the complications, ups and downs that they go through throughout the whole show, movie was also nice. Overall, just a great movie. Honestly, really enjoyed it.
Dave, you concur?
No.
Okay. Go ahead. Take it away.
Yeah. Listen, Dom, these are generally not movies I watch either. I did not want to watch Marry Me, but with all the ads that I kept getting, I figured if I watched it, Peacock would leave me alone for a week. So I watched it, and I got exactly what I thought I would, which is, it's a good movie. It was a good movie concept. Definitely not great. Owen Wilson was Owen Wilson, just like he is every movie. Somebody I wish was maybe like an uncle or father or someone related to me, so I could get his advice.
Wow, I did not expect that.
Oh yeah, that's it's very unexpected of Owen Wilson to play like a wise person who turns out right in the end. The one issue I definitely had with it was they kept putting J-Lo in this predicament that like a 20-year-old would be in, and J-Lo, no matter how much makeup or plastic surgery she does, definitely does not look like a 20-year-old and has none of those problems. So I definitely took issue with one of the biggest plot points, which is the fact that she was cheated on. And the fact that she was cheated on wasn't enough to put her away from the entire situation with her ex for some reason that she was barely involved with. It was obviously getting way too early of a marriage with. So a lot of the conflict with that just didn't make sense to me, because I mean, in reality, Owen Wilson and J-Lo are much too old to be making that bad of choices like a 20-year-old would.
Jose's pissed. What do you got?
No, I mean, it's fair enough points. I just like the idea of seeing older people try and go through complications that younger people go through. I don't know. I feel like it's a different concept we've never seen before, and I quite enjoyed it.
Wait a minute. Different.
What do you mean different?
You think it's different than stuff we've seen before?
I mean, I've never seen it before.
Oh, okay. Dave,
Again,
what do you think,
I've never seen a movie like that before.
I mean, I've seen it before. What I didn't see before, which is what I was trying to emphasize there, is that, again, the conflict just didn't make sense. That, J-Lo is, again, like getting up to 50 if she's not already there, and she's addicted to her phone like a 20-year-old would be. It's normal for, older couples to get divorced and have these drama and issues in their life. But like someone of J-Lo's age and generation would not get cheated on and then even think for a second about going back with the person that cheated on them and embarrass them publicly. So a lot of the conflict, again, just was not relatable at all to me. But maybe Jose, I'm an old soul, so that's not relatable at all.
She didn't get back with the guy that cheated on her.
Yeah, but the whole movie was hinting towards her still having feelings for him.
I mean, yeah, but in the end, in
the end, she made the right choice. But there was like 20 times in the movie where she heavily thought about getting back with him. And I'm just saying, a person of that generation and age would not even consider it once.
True. I mean, that is true. Yeah, you make a fair point there.
All right. I mean, good opinions all around. Look, you guys got to grade it. Just so you know, Dave, we do grade on a scale of where'd you go, Dave? There's Dave. Hey, all right. So we do grade on a scale of must go, might go. In this case, it'd be streaming.
It'd be
must watch, might watch, don't watch, and forget about it. So I don't know. Where are you going, Dave? You need to think, or we'll let Jose go?
I just watched Johnny Brasco, so I really want to say forget about it. But I would just say don't watch unless you've watched as many movies as me and you're running out of content. Don't watch it.
All right, Jose, what do you got?
I would give it a might watch. I mean, I enjoyed it. I know there's people out there who might not like it, but if I know Latinos especially would watch it just because it's Maluma and he's like a hot Latino, hot meaning both in the sense of he is hot and he's also like up in the charts. Like he's very famous Latino artist. And I know J-Lo is also very hot and popular right now too. So I mean, a lot of Latinos watch it just because they're in it. And the fact that they're singing in Spanish and sometimes even talking Spanish, so I know a lot of Latinos would watch it for that reason. But I mean, if you're interested in watching it, I mean, if you're interested in the concept, watch it. If not, don't. I mean, it is what it is. So.
All right, fair enough. All right, look, Jose, you watched the Fallout too, right? This is something you want, yeah. Talk to me about this.
Let me tell you, man. Now this movie.
Who's in this one again?
It's Maddie Ziegler and Jenna Ortega.
Gotcha.
Which they did phenomenal, by the way, in this movie. I would grade it a must watch. Like this movie is up there with probably one of my favorites of this year. Well, it came out. Yeah, it did come out this year, honestly, because I haven't seen like a lot of movies, but it's definitely up there. The performances that they did, phenomenal. The concept and idea of the movie is also pretty relevant and one that happens a lot. Obviously, a shooting. I mean, a lot of shootings have happened, so it's a very good concept to go off of, and the way that each individual person handled it in the movie was different, obviously, because everyone handles stuff in situations differently. And so the way that they went about with this movie and the performances that they did in this movie was really great. They kept up with top things like TikTok, people being addicted to TikTok and all this other stuff. So it was a phenomenal movie. I honestly enjoyed myself a lot, and I really want to like watch this movie over and over again because it's actually like a really good movie.
Dave, you gonna watch this one?
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna give it a try when I can get around to it. Jose, would you suggest it to me?
Oh, I mean, I was about to say that it's doing good on Rotten Tomatoes. It has a mid 90s on both critics and audience score.
We don't care about Rotten Tomatoes. Did you like it?
No, I did really enjoy it, and I would suggest it to both of you guys to watch, just because I really enjoyed that movie. So yeah. I would suggest it. Yeah.
Must watch.
Yeah, I'll definitely.
Are you giving this a must watch?
Oh, yeah, 100%.
That's a great. All right, and then Dave, I gotta talk to you for a sec, bud, because you surprised the hell out of me recently. You just watched Silver Linings Playbook for the first time.
Yes, I did.
Oh wow. Okay. All right. So talk to me, man, because I think that movie's phenomenal.
I do too. I think it's great. And to explain to anyone watching before I get my ass kicked out in the parking lot after this, I purposely save movies like this that I know I'm going to love for when I feel like I'm kind of getting into a dry run of movies.
Yeah.
So I didn't think this movie was going to be bad going into it. I knew it was going to be a great movie. I love Bradley Cooper. I love Robert De Niro. I read the synopsis. I thought it was going to be great. I purposely didn't watch it this whole time, waiting for a day like the other day where I didn't know what to watch. And so I had the ability to just throw it on and not worry about it. It was absolutely great. Not a big Jennifer Lawrence fan. I think she did outstanding. It's the best.
She won her Oscar
I've
for
seen
that.
by her.
She won her Oscar for that movie. Yeah. It was her first one.
She deserves every bit of it. And diving deep into the psychology of how fucked up Bradley Cooper and Jennifer Lawrence are in that movie.
Oh yeah,
was definitely awesome to keep track of in the movie. It's kind of like watching 4D chess, not knowing what is going on inside their heads and what they're going to say next. So very unexpected. Movie was great all the way through. Thought I was going to hate the ending till Bradley Cooper, turned around, much like J-Lo should have done the first time, straightened up and made the right choice.
Look at Jose.
Bro, I want to watch this now. I want to watch this movie now.
You never seen Silver Linings Playbook?
No, I haven't.
Whoa, dude, you got to watch it. Yeah, it's
all right. Looks like Jose's getting jumped in the parking lot. I'm safe.
No, yeah, you're good. Don't worry about
it. Was it on Netflix?
I don't know.
Where'd you find it? I watched this. I'll let you know when I check, but I believe it was on Peacock that I watched this one.
It might be on Peacock, actually. Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, you never seen Silver Linings Playbook, man? Oh my god! Oh,
no, I haven't.
Get
never
even,
it. Honestly, didn't even know of it until you guys wrote it in Instagram. I didn't even know it was like a thing. So
yeah, David O. Russell was on like a really good run for a long time. Like back then, like I don't know if you guys seen any of his other films. Like he had The Fighter, which was amazing with Mark Wahlberg and Christian Bale. That movie's fantastic.
Oh, yeah, excellent movie.
Nope, haven't heard of that one.
And then oh wow, Jesus,
Must watch.
must watch. That's a must
that
watch.
one's excellent. Yeah,
Both that and Silver Linings, and then American Hustle. Was
Okay,
right
I have
after
seen.
that.
I've seen that one.
Okay.
I've seen American Hustle. Yeah,
Yeah,
that was a good one.
The American Hustle was right after that. Then he
Yeah.
did like Joy, which was like extremely
Oh.
divisive, and I
my
like
God.
Joy. I'm on the good side of Joy.
I was gonna say I really enjoyed that movie. I've seen that movie like 3-4 times already, and I enjoy it every time.
I like it. Yeah,
Honestly,
I
yeah,
think
it's really
great.
good.
It's not Silver Linings or Fighter by any means, or even American Hustle, for that matter. But I really enjoy that movie a lot. Like I thought that Joy was really, really good. And then he like fell off the map. I don't know if anybody knows what happened to that guy. If anybody knows the whereabouts of David O. Russell, pull him back in and have him make some more.
Please
movies.
call the local authorities. We're trying to get him back to the home. We don't know where he's wandered to. Word for his safety.
Man's retired to some like Caribbean islands or some shit, just like gone off the face of the earth.
Yeah. Oh, one more thing I forgot to say about Silver Linings too.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
I was so happy to see. Speaking of people that disappeared, I was so happy to see Chris Tucker in this movie, which I had not seen since Rush Hour. So I'm happy to see he's alive and looking good.
Yeah.
Unlike when I look at like Brendan Fraser and I'm like, holy shit, what happened to him in 3 years?
Well, he tried to like capitalize on that because he did like a stand-up special right around that time too.
Oh, Chris Tucker.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, he did excellent in the movie. He was hilarious.
He's
comedic
good.
relief.
Yeah.
He was very funny in every scene he was in.
Yeah, great.
And he knew how to kind of relieve the tension of each scene. And I thought it was hilarious that the cops had to continually keep coming and picking him up because he's over here lying about, oh no, it's all good. They released me. I got this law right here, and it's. Yeah. As they called him, the nut house lawyer.
Yeah, it's great. He just keeps escaping somehow. He
keeps getting out.
What I love is he just keeps escaping the nut house at the most convenient times. It's when Bradley Cooper and Jennifer Lawrence need him to be supportive for them, and that's when he tends to break out. So he just
and much like someone who's mentally ill, he doesn't even try to escape and flee the country.
No,
he thinks it's totally fine. He just goes to his friend's house, goes about his normal life.
He's like, oh, that's cool. I could be here for a little bit. Yeah, I love it.
The Eagles are on, man. You can't take me in right now.
I just looked it up, by the way, and I saw it's on Netflix.
Okay,
Netflix. Okay,
good deal. Good deal.
Yeah, so I'll have to give that a watch for sure. It sounds interesting.
Oh, it's awesome, Jose. You're not gonna be disappointed. It's honestly that good. One of the best.
Dom,
Bradley Cooper too. I mean, I'm
meant to ask you, Dom. I don't know if you've seen it, Dave, but Dom, did you end up, watching Dog yet or not yet?
I haven't not had a chance to go see it.
Man.
But I want to. I know you saw it.
Yeah.
And we do have a review up. So
the non-spoiler review for Dog for anyone who wants to go check that out. But that was you sent me to a pre-screening for that, and I'm glad you did because that was a great movie. Honestly, it's a must-watch.
Yeah, for sure. And check out the review, guys, for sure, because you definitely need to see that. Real quick here too. I wanted to mention something because I know it's coming right around the corner. Bad day for the Batman. Did you guys see this whole rating debacle going on?
No, I haven't.
I haven't.
No.
Okay.
No.
So get this. So I didn't know this, and you guys tell me if you knew. So the UK, I mean, we know that they have a different rating system. I just didn't understand it because now Batman's like PG-13 here, which means pretty much anybody can go. Honestly, anybody will be able to get in. Now the stipulation here is if it's rated R, is that if it's rated R, obviously you need to have an adult accompany you if you're under 17 years old. Most movie theaters anyway. I don't know if you're one of those theaters that just lets it slide. Okay, whatever. But anyway, that's like the rule though. It's supposed to be the rule.
Unless it's in a different country where the age of adult is different.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So that's what I'm saying here because for what I learned today, so UK has rated it a 15, which means and a 15 in the UK, most parts of the UK. It means that you actually absolutely have to be 15, even if you're accompanied by an adult. You can't get into the Batman. So even if
because I was gonna say because what I've understood, from my understanding is that 16 is the age for adults.
Right. So I think 16's there are, but 15 is you got to think of it as a step between PG-13 and there are.
And
they have an extra one, and they've given the Batman the 15. all parts of the UK except for Ireland, which Ireland has a 15A.
Well, that's not part of UK. It's part of Great Britain.
I'm sorry. I meant, sorry. All
Great
parts
Britain.
of the UK, but Ireland has a
No,
rating.
all parts of the Great Britain.
I was trying to
Ireland.
say, like, Ireland separately from the UK has rated it what's called a 15A, which means you can be 15 and be accompanied by adult, but the UK doesn't have a 15A. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to petition to make this the first movie that they can at least rate a 15A, and they got to get like government officials behind it. It's wild.
Jesus
it's a wild
Christ, man,
process just to get this rating.
Hell, man.
And I don't blame them because like that's 15% of their box office at least, I would say, so I thought that was like wild that, all because of this rating, and like, but it does go to show that this movie for PG-13 is going to be pushing the envelope on what it can do.
That's true. Yeah.
That's definitely what I was going to say is at least here in America, you could get away with quite a bit with PG-13 for some movies like Venom and Deadpool. Like if you get PG-13, like you failed, like that's a litmus test, but
Venom got
for something like Batman,
that makes sense.
Yeah, and they failed. So that's
sorry, Jose.
But for something like the Batman, I mean, that's for it to be PG-13 is pretty reasonable. You could expect some vulgar language.
I
but
think
again,
so.
You really got to push vulgar language, violence, and gore a lot to get a rated R rating, and it could still be a great movie as a PG for Batman.
I just think the fact that it was 15 in the UK though just shows. I mean, Matt Reeves wasn't kidding when he said we really pushed the envelope on what we can get for PG-13, get away with PG-13, and that he was scared at first that they weren't even going to be able to make it a PG-13, that they were going to have to rate it R. And this makes a lot of sense now that we're hearing about the UK. But look, man, I mean, if Joker made the $1 billion, and granted this is pre-pandemic era, I think that the Batman could still be okay.
Yeah, maybe not same as Joker, but somewhere close. Yeah, for sure.
Depends on how good it is, man.
I just can't. I don't know. The Joker's just it's a movie I hold very close to me.
Oh, me too. Yeah,
it's very hard. I just see it very hard to top a movie like that.
Yeah,
I mean, Joaquin Phoenix's performance in that was one of the best that I've seen in DC. Honestly.
Yeah. Dave, I wasn't sure if you were aware. Jose and I do consider the Joker to be the
best comic book
movie ever.
Comic book movie ever. Yeah,
right.
ever made.
Yeah. Do you concur with that statement, or do you have a different one?
I don't think it's asinine. I think it's a reasonable standard to hold for yourself. I don't know if I'd agree. I'd really have to think about it. It's definitely top 3. If it's not number 1, it's number 2.
Fair.
Yeah, man. Yeah, we have those in the top 5 for sure. I mean, we have a top 5 list of comic book movies.
Yeah,
so.
Which we're gonna have to reassess once this Batman movie comes out. I have a really good feeling that this could break our top 5.
I think so too.
I meant to ask about the Batman. Do you guys know if the Batman is going to be like the Joker and it is a potentially standalone Batman film and Ben Affleck will be coming back to Batman, or are they just going to continue on the Justice League with Robert Pattinson now?
It's outside of the DCEU, and I think they said it took place in Earth 2, which the DCU does not. Somehow that became a headline for a story. Batman takes place in Earth 2. What the fuck is Earth 2?
So this is basically just a variant of Batman.
Right. So think of a different universe.
Yeah. So basically, like it's like the Flash movies or the Flash show. You know how you have different variants of Flash from different Earths. That's basically what this is here. It's a different variant of Batman.
Means that Robert Pattinson could potentially show up in the Flash movie, but I wouldn't put your money on anybody showing up in Pattinson's movie. You know what I mean? Because it's definitely standalone. But now
I was gonna say because we know Michael Keaton's Batman's gonna be in the Flash movie.
But to Dave's question, we don't know where the Joker takes place, so it could potentially be in the same universe. We don't know. I think it would be cool.
I really want it to because I want to see the Joker, like Joaquin Phoenix's Joker, Robert Pattinson. Well, depending on how this movie goes, I would really want to see like Robert Pattinson's Batman and Joaquin Phoenix's Joker kind of have like a clash movie. Honestly, I think it'd be really, really cool.
Interesting.
Obviously, like I'm good either way. Like I don't need it to take place in the same universe. Like make a great movie first and foremost, and we'll go from there. However, it would be cool. It would get a pop if like the Joker showed up at like a post credit or something, or like that'd
be cool.
That's how the movie ended because I don't think he's going to be in this one. Like,
definitely not. No, definitely not. No,
no iteration of the Joker will be in this one. This movie's already packed with
it'll
Riddler,
be either it'll be the second or third movie that Pattinson does as Batman,
Yeah.
where Joaquin Phoenix's Joker would show up, whether it's in a post credit or in the movie itself. I mean, it's definitely gonna be either the second or third. He's not gonna show up in this one.
And I think it would have to be Robert Pattinson's Batman. I mean, people try to speculate it to go into like, the current Justice League DC universe we got, but I don't think that's going to be a good look because honestly, like, I just can't see that Joker going up against like Ben Affleck Batman and not just getting absolutely schooled. Like, I feel like he would accidentally kill him with a second punch.
Oh,
so I
sure.
think maybe it'd be a more level challenge for him to go against Robert Pattinson's, because if he's going against...
If it's a massive time jump, though, we don't know how much Joaquin would have learned, though, within that time. Because Bruce Wayne was a child when we saw him last, though.
Right.
So we don't know how much, how much more skilled Joaquin's become, how much more crafty he's become, how much more insane he's become. Which that would be the key right there, is to not only bring in a Joaquin, but bring in a Joaquin that's 1,000 times more insane, which is, it just seems unimaginable. But like it even if like they do a Joker too, that's still a cool thought, because
like, I just want to see more. I just want to see more of Joaquin Phoenix as the Joker.
The thing made $1 billion. They're trying to get it made. They are.
That's what I mean. Like, I just need to see whether it's in a Batman movie or a solo movie. I'm just trying to see more of Joaquin Phoenix as the Joker.
Absolutely. Man. I believe we haven't seen the last of them yet.
Definitely not. There's definitely more. There's more to come with Joaquin Phoenix's Joker for sure.
But if not, kick-ass standalone movie they made with it. So
100%.
I mean, there's really no
my
complaints.
favorite one of my favorite DC movies of all time, honestly.
Yeah, but it is Dave, separate from the DCEU. So Ben Affleck's Batman's last appearance, in my opinion, or what I think is going to be his last, is definitely going to be the Flash movie. We do know he's going to be in there, but now, interestingly enough, never mind. I can't talk about it. Jose's got to catch up on Peacemaker. We'll talk off air.
Yeah. And I got a non-spoiler news section for that. So it won't spoil it for him, but it'll say everything you got to say.
Great. Wonderful. All right. So we're going to do a new segment here on this show. Go ahead, Jose. What'd you have?
No, I was going to say, I thought we were talking about, we've been on an Oscar binge.
Oh, right. Yeah. So, let's talk about that really quick. So Dave's going to get a chance to, we're going to recommend him some movies, I guess, here really quick, because you and I have been on an Oscar binge. Let's definitely get to that. Because, you and I have been watching, not a lot of them, but a lot of them, the movies. We have seen, from the movies that we thought were going to get nominated and the ones that did get nominated, we have watched a lot of them. Yeah. So let's start with Power of the Dog here, because I thought Power of the Dog was mind-blowing. It actually is 100% cracked my top 3 of 2021 now that I've seen it. And I loved it. Great performance from Benedict Cumberbatch. And I forget his name, but the kid in that movie too. Cody Smith McPhee. Yeah. Oh my God, he was phenomenal as well. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Also nominated this year. So very exciting. And if you guys haven't seen Power of the Dog, definitely recommend Must watch 100%, because that movie is phenomenal. Is Power of the Dog on your radar there, Dave?
No, but it is now. I'll look into it.
Was it on
all your radar? Usually takes for me is a Google search, figuring out where I could stream it, and then
Netflix.
I'm watching it at 3
It's on Netflix. It's at Netflix. It's on Netflix.
So it won't make it through the night. It will be watched tonight then.
All right. Yeah, no, it's honestly of 2021. It broke it'll
blow your mind, honestly.
Yeah, very.
Would you say it's one of the best of the Oscar nominations you guys have been watching? Or
from the ones we've watched that are nominated, yes, it's one of the best for sure.
Okay, cool. So that'll be top of the list.
Good. Some of the other ones. I mean,
Tragedy Macbeth
was the other one. Yeah. So
I
thought was fantastic. It didn't break my top 3 like Power of the Dog, nor is it my favorite. It's a Coen Brothers movie, nor is it my favorite Coen Brothers movie by any means. Quite enjoyed it though. I thought overall, it reminded me of Seventh Seal quite a bit, like the aesthetic of it, and I dug all that, and Denzel was unbelievable. Deserves every. I guess it is quite impressive that it was all filmed in not many different sets and locations. And the fact that the budget was one of the lowest that I've seen for a movie, and the fact that with that budget they did what they did was very impressive. Overall as a movie, it was pretty good. I liked it a lot. I really did.
By no means was it up there with one of my favorites of this year, but or of last year, I
Last
guess,
year,
of
right,
2021.
right.
But I mean, it was still pretty enjoyable, pretty watchable. I mean,
I enjoyed it, and yeah, I personally, I mean, I would still put it in the must watch, even if it's on the lower end of it. Like, I still would put it there.
yeah,
I just
yeah.
think, like, man, like, there was something that just enamored me about the way. The balance of the dialogue and the sort of, you know, the violence of it, not to give too much away, that, you know, kind of takes place.
And
And
I mean, I
just,
guess I did break down in more depth like the cinematography and stuff of that
it's
movie,
well shot action
which was
too.
also which is also I mean, I found very impressive.
Yeah, it's
So
great.
yeah.
The Coen brothers really, like, they did, that was the other thing I respected about, is like,
Well, it wasn't. I mean, both of them didn't direct it. It was just one.
right, I'm sorry. So Joel
Coen
Coen,
brothers.
which still like classifies a Coen brothers movie, it's one of the brothers, but still, like, and they both just have similar sensibilities either way. Typically, if one steps away to do something, it is Joel Coen. But still, Joel Coen, you know, stepping out to do this one. I mean, it's different than a lot of the other Coen brothers things that you see.
True.
Like, it was probably the darkest movie they've done. Not
Oh,
saying the best, but
100%.
it's dark as hell. So
By far
just-
the darkest.
I
Yeah.
just enjoyed that about it, and I just thought it was something new and different that just kind of, to me, was very separated from a lot of these other nominees, and like, it was unique. Again, I'll go to you, Dave. Was this on your radar at all before we talked about it, or
No,
Probably-
quite frankly, it doesn't sound like no House of Gucci, if you will. So
No.
it was definitely not on my radar.
Yeah. Check it out, Apple TV Plus. I recommend checking it out. I don't know. I think Jose is a little bit more on the might watch part of this.
You know, a high might watch, low must watch.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one of those. It's like, it's impressive, black and white, you know, and the dialogue is very Shakespeare and all
very
that. but I mean-
Shakespeare. Yeah,
but, I mean, yeah.
it's you know, it's one of those things where you know, it's challenging. You do have to, and trust me, I mean, there's a point in the movie, I think Jose agrees, where definitely, like, it stops being a slow burn and really starts to speed itself up. And like, once you know, you almost have to catch up in the first half of it, though, because you're constantly looking for context clues to, if you're not real good at Shakespeare, you're going to be constantly looking for context clues to try to understand what's going on and try to follow it. Once you're kind of caught up about midway through it, I think the movie just really soars and like, it really takes off. So that's that's
Well,
my
as
take
you
on it.
know, I really enjoyed Ridley Scott's The Last Duel and House of Gucci. So
I
mean,
like The Last
slow
Duel.
burns
I
are
haven't
no
seen House of
problem
Gucci.
for me. So
Yeah.
that'll be no problem.
Oh, no, Last Duel's good.
I still haven't seen either of them, but
Yeah, Last Duel's actually, I can't speak for House of Gucci just because I haven't seen it. I'm interested,
I
but
can.
yeah, I believe you. I believe I'll probably like it as well. I'm a big Ridley Scott fan, so I'm pretty diehard. But yeah, Last Duel was really, really good.
Yeah.
I did a review a while back on it, but you guys could probably go find that. But to me, like, Last Duel was like, it's not my favorite of the year by any means, nor did it break the top 10, unfortunately. It almost made my honorable mentions, but kind of got kicked out by a couple other things. But yeah, I remember sitting in that theater and I felt really bad. I think Jose, do you remember if I got a press screening for that or not? I feel like
you did because
Okay.
you did a solo non-spoiler review, because you got a pre-screening, and then
Okay.
I can't remember if you did a spoiler or not, because I hadn't seen it, nor have I still seen it, so I'm not too sure if you did or
Well,
not.
I think what it
but-
was is there were still like reviews out at that point, enough to where, like, I think we were kind of in the second wave of reviews. Like, we didn't make the first wave of reviews, but we were kind of
Yeah.
in that second wave.
But I know you did do a non-spoiler by yourself because you got a pre-screening to
Right.
it. So
Right. So there was enough negative, I think, at that point on it to where it's like none of the critics wanted to go out. So I'm sitting next to this poor young chap, and he's the only other person in the theater. he's kind of like sitting behind me diagonally-ish. And like, he's the only other person in the theater. You could tell he's a young chap trying to make it in the industry, because he's sitting there taking notes. I just remember that he's the only other person in there, and he was bored to tears. I felt so bad for him, like, because there's kind of a truth to, like, if you don't know Ridley Scott, you don't know what you're getting into, like, because especially now that we're like into this like seasoned Ridley Scott, very different Ridley Scott than, you know, Like you might have seen like Gladiator and Blade.
Yep.
Probably not even Blade Runner if you're like a casual viewer. Maybe Gladiator and Alien. Very different movie here than those, or Martian probably if you're Martian's awesome.
Ooh.
Yeah, they're all
And
great.
I mean,
but
you could even see it in the action sequences because the action sequences in the last duel were excellent. But
they're fantastic.
So short. I wish every time I watched an action sequence, I was like, man, why couldn't I have like an hour more of that? Like that was excellent.
They were great action sequences. Like they weren't Gladiator length, unfortunately, which is what I kind of wanted.
In passing.
So that would be a gripe. Like it could have used more of the action. And then like definitely like I didn't mind seeing it all from 3 different perspectives. I actually thought that was cool. But I just didn't feel like we had to see everything that we saw from 3 different perspectives. Like there were some things that just played out exactly the same, and you could have not necessarily cut on the runtime, but saved that for maybe some more action sequences or to,
I think
lengthen or strengthen your action sequences rather.
Yeah, there was a few of the repeat scenes that were pretty similar. Of course, I want to say there were some that were very different because, of course, like the one scene with Adam Driver, and oh, am I moving here? Okay,
you're good. Just
sorry.
The
one scene with Adam Driver and I'm missing her name because I haven't seen her.
Jodie Comer,
but
isn't it?
Yes,
thank you.
Yeah, she was also in Free Guy.
Yeah, Jodie Comer. Yeah, exactly.
Very
excellent.
good
actress. I just seen her pop out of nowhere this year with Free Guy, and the last duel was the first time I ever saw her. I was like, why is she killing it right now? She's in everything I'm watching.
What a breakout talent.
She's a phenomenal,
she's
phenomenal
been
actress
excellent so far.
Yeah.
The scene between the two of them obviously revealed a lot of what was different from their perspectives, and there's certain scene that I don't want to get too into, but Adam Driver takes advantage of her basically. From one perspective, that's very obvious. From the other one, it's not so obvious. But at the same time, I think the action sequences probably would have built the relationship a lot more of Adam Driver and Matt Damon, which probably would have given us a little bit more emotion in the final sequence during the last duel. Because I feel like we just didn't see enough chemistry positive between them. We got a lot of negative chemistry between it, but not a lot of positive. And so almost makes me hesitate at the end when, Matt Damon's got it all in hand. And it's like, why do you even care at this point?
I just feel like
just do it.
Ridley Scott at this point is like in this place where he's like, I've done the movies that like kind of shaped me. Now I just want to do passion projects. And this felt like a story that like he was just passionate about telling. That's kind of like how it felt the whole time. Like it was like the story is great and it should have been tackled and by none other than Ridley Scott, honestly. Like despite the gripes and all that, I couldn't see it being done maybe any better. I mean, it's still there's still enough there that's like masterfully done that like makes it like justifiable to be made by Ridley Scott. Like it's one of those movies that's like he had to make it because he's the only director that can pitch that right now to a studio and get the money to make it. You know what I mean?
Actually get it to pass.
Yeah, like nobody else is going to be able to tackle it anyway. Nobody else has got the clout. Maybe like Martin Scorsese, but other than that, like who else has the clout to pitch it to a studio and get the money? And even you look at like Martin Scorsese struggles right now too. He had to sell his new one to Netflix. So like his last 2 I think are both Netflix, if I'm not mistaken. So, so even he struggles to get the money from like big studios anymore. So it just makes sense that Ridley Scott's like, he might be the last one with any clout, but probably not anymore. He's been he's been talking some shit lately. So he's been cranky old Ridley now. So that's interesting.
I meant to ask you, Dom, have you seen Encanto yet?
I haven't. I know I need to get to it.
Oh,
I will.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's the best of the animated films that got nominated. In my opinion, is the best.
Yeah.
I see you nodding your head, Dave, but it's true. Okay.
I can't let it pass Frozen. I'll never watch. If it wasn't for that, I'd watch it twice. I can't let it beat Frozen. It's wrong.
No, Encanto is 10 times better than Frozen. I am saying that right now.
I'll give it a shot. I will.
Honest to God, like it's so honestly made me cry like 3 times.
Frozen was the last movie that Dave saw in the theater that was a Disney animated film. He didn't even go see Frozen 2 because he was just that hooked on Frozen. He was just like, nope.
Look,
can't
bro,
I don't need a part 2. It's done, man. That's good.
I refuse to watch Frozen 2 because
I love Frozen 2.
Just from the trailer itself, like I just refuse.
I really like Frozen 2. It's not better than the first movie, but it's a good movie. Like it's a really good.
But honestly,
sequel.
I think Encanto is my favorite of the newest. animated Disney movies for sure. Like it's number one.
Moana.
Besides Moana,
Oh,
obviously,
Moana's
but
fantastic.
Moana and Encanto are like my top two of the new animated. I'll just say that.
Just checking before I got to send the Rock over to your house, straighten you out. You know what I mean? Last thing you want on your list, Tamar Morrison and the Rock at your door.
All right, guys. Look, we're gonna go into a new segment here, but before we do that, let me talk to you guys about Spotify. If you guys are on a long trip or something, you need something to listen to, we are on Spotify. Make sure you go over there, you follow us, you download some episodes. Let us know how we're doing over there, and the show will be there too. So hopefully you guys can go do that. If you are on Spotify, please head over to the YouTube channel, youtube.com/c/Anorax. Check out all the other content we got outside of the podcasts, short form stuff as well. And make sure you subscribe, like the videos, and do all that so you can get some more content in the future. But we do have a new segment here. Just so you guys know, Jose is now our movie trailers correspondent. He got a promotion, so he's very happy about that. We are all very thrilled to have him here still, and have him doing that on top of the normal duties. So duty. Look, look, guys. With all that said, Jose, if you were ready, we are gonna take it away and take it over to our movie trailers correspondent. Jose, what do you got for us?
Hello, guys. Today we've got 5 trailers to talk about. Number 1, we've got Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, which I believe Tom Cruise is in because he's getting a little too old for those Mission Impossible movies. Next we got Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power. Every time I watch Lord of the Rings content, whether it's a movie or anything like that, I just feel like I'm on some kind of acid trip, trippy as hell.
As do we all.
Next we got Jordan Peele's Nope, which I haven't shit my pants this much since the last time I watched World War Z and Ouija, which was like 8 years ago, so that's great fun.
Well, thanks for clearing that up. Go ahead.
Next we got The Boys Presents Diabolical. The annoying fucked up shit in this trailer reminds me of some of the Cartoon Network shows that we have these days. And last we got Baz Luhrmann's Elvis. Oh, the good old days when your grandpa used to go down on your grandma 24/7.
That's my favorite one. Oh my god. Yay, Jose. Thank you so much for that, buddy. Thank you.
Of course.
It. All right.
I'm here all week.
What a trooper. Yeah, so who's got anything on these? Who wants to start? Any comments on any of these trailers?
The obvious is the new go ahead.
Obviously, Doctor Strange.
We got the new trailer.
Strange for last. Is there
Stranger
anything else
Things,
outside
yeah.
of Strange?
Stranger
Things. Yeah, how was the Stranger Things trailer, Dave? Since you're the only one that saw it, apparently.
Man, got an
It
exclusive.
was excellent.
The Lord of the Rings one, the first time I saw it, obviously was Super Bowl. During the Super Bowl, it literally just made me feel like I was on an acid trip. It was like trippy as hell. I thought that the actress, like the main actress in that trailer, was the same one from The Witcher because they somehow look alike, but I found out that it wasn't. But I did really enjoy the trailer. I'm looking forward to it. I love the Lord of the Rings movies, so I'm really excited to see what they do with the show. Honestly.
Yeah, me too, man. I am overly stoked for what is the most expensive TV show of all time. You could cut that budget by 75% and it'd still be in like the top 5 most expensive shows ever made. That's how expensive this. It's like true. 55 million an episode or something, man. I want to see where it's all going. Like that's what's exciting me. It's strange that the thing I'm latching onto most, even though the little teaser we got was cool, the thing I'm latching onto most, it looked gorgeous. It does look like a movie, and so it does look like the budget was worth it. But the thing I am latching onto most is the budget here.
It is pretty expensive.
Yeah. Dave, you're a Lord of the Rings guy, right?
Oh, big time. Yeah, that's one of the things that got my girlfriend into watching movies with me, is showing her Lord of the Rings and making her.
That's good.
That's good. Hobbit stew, as I told her it was, and eating some elvish bread, which of course we could eat a lot of, just like the Hobbit. So yeah, big fan of Lord of the Rings. We didn't really like the Hobbit as much.
Yeah, sure.
So yeah, I hope it's a little bit more Lord of the Rings focused. It looks good. Like I said,
it does.
Like you said, the budget is huge. So I just hope that those dollars go to the right spots to make it a great series. We could pick up more than one season out of this thing.
Yeah, absolutely. That'd be cool.
100%. Yeah.
I do speculate. I don't know what you guys think of this. Do you think it's possible that this could be the biggest thing since Game of Thrones? I mean,
Well, I
like,
mean, I haven't seen Game of Thrones, but I mean,
right. Dave
maybe
has.
honestly,
Oh yeah, I love Game of Thrones.
I honestly think it could. I honestly think it could. I think your statement is correct.
Yeah, I think it could be. I think it's going to be huge.
Oh
Personally,
yeah,
I think it's
it's
going to
gonna
be massive.
it's gonna be the show that everyone's talking about online. And
I mean,
stuff
Grant,
when-
we've had
when it
big
is.
things since. Like, Mandalorian's huge, and
Exactly.
like WandaVision was
Yep.
massive when it was around, and all that. But
Stranger
like,
Things.
I don't know that there's been hype the way that like Stranger Things is big too. Yeah.
That is true. Yeah.
I don't know if there's been like that hype like when Game of Thrones was around yet. Like I don't know if we've gotten there. Like, give Mandalorian a couple more seasons, see where that goes. I bet you we'll get there maybe with that too. But yeah, like Game of Thrones, there was something different when that was on there.
It's the Halloween costumes. That's when a show is taken over, when it's all the Halloween costumes.
That is true.
You got like 5 Daenerys walking around. So I think that'll be a good litmus test. Let's see the Halloween costumes. But I think Lord of the Rings will be a pretty big hit or miss. I mean, I think if it misses, it's probably going to miss by a lot and not go very far. I hope that's not the case though. And if it hits, yeah, I think it's going to be huge. I think it's going to be the biggest thing since Game of Thrones, maybe even bigger.
Yeah.
I mean, especially because the one thing I'll say is Lord of the Rings has a huge fan base that's older. And then if you can get the younger people into it, I feel like that's just such a big relatable fan base that you could build off of it. Whereas some of the newer shows like The Mandalorian, a lot of older Star Wars fans don't like the shows, even though they're great. I hear a lot of older Star Wars fans that aren't a big fan of it.
You know what?
True.
all those older Star Wars fans, they just don't want to enjoy or admit to the fact of enjoying anything that Disney does with Star Wars. Like,
yeah,
they just don't want to. They just don't want to admit it. Or
and
either
from
that, or
Lord
they
of the
just
Rings,
actually don't like it.
Yeah, from Lord of the Rings, I just feel like the fans that I know of, like the older fans, like my older brother and them, they are diehard Lord of the Rings fans. So as long as they don't basically disrespect and spit on the name of Frodo Baggins over here, I think they're gonna have a good show going for him here.
And I feel like, and I feel like using these like younger actresses and actors will definitely bring a younger fan base to it as well. I feel like they could really bring a lot of younger people into Lord of the Rings.
Absolutely. I'll give some quick. I do agree with a lot of your points. I mean, and the last thing I would say there is like, while the Hobbit movies weren't the biggest hits, they are consistent. It's a consistent trilogy, Like,
I mean,
I
was gonna say, because I liked all the Hobbit movies. Honestly, I enjoyed myself with all of them.
I thought the second one was really good. For some reason, I took to that one more than the other two.
Yeah, same.
But I thought that
same
was
here.
probably the best of the three for sure. It definitely had the most meat to it, and then like the third part of it was more like the third act of the book just stretched out, and like that was inevitable when Peter Jackson had announced that he was going to try to do this as a trilogy as well. Probably a mistake in the long run, but they are consistent, and I do think that like at the end of the day, like there's not as much worry for this, for some reason. Like it does seem to be like a little bit more like there's not all this Lord of the Rings content to where it's like going to become oversaturated, is like Star Wars, you could attribute a lot of the divisiveness to a lot of different things, with the fact that it's something that happened 40 years ago, to start with, 40 some odd years ago to start with, and so like you're gonna have a big generational divide. The fact that it's really not consistent in any way, shape, or form. Like every piece of Star Wars content we get now is different. It's different creators with different sensibilities, and that is going to naturally cause some divisiveness. There's going to be stuff you like, stuff you don't like, and so I just don't think Lord of the Rings has that same thing going for it. I think everybody's just kind of in agreement with Lord of the Rings, and like I think with the series, it's a smart route because we say this all the time. I feel like you can build upon your character so much more with the series. Look at Peacemaker, which we'll get into later. So that's just how I feel about it. So
and
far.
it's like, and you can basically do a movie in a show, and more. So it's always smart to go, the series route, because you can always do more when it comes to a series versus a movie. So.
Yeah. I'll give some quick commentary now on The Boys, though, really quick. I love The Boys. I think it's some of the best television out there right now. Some of my favorite television. I cannot wait.
I still
for
haven't
season
seen
3.
it.
It's fantastic. You
I
should
love
watch
it.
it.
I need to watch. What's that on? What's that
Amazon.
on?
Amazon Prime.
Amazon.
Yeah.
Okay, bet. I'll
Yeah.
have to give that a watch then.
Definitely, it's great. Those first 2 seasons are unbelievably good.
Oh, yeah.
And like some of the best comic book stuff coming out right now is The Boys. It's fantastic. I don't give a fucking shit about this thing though. Let me tell you, this thing was like so beyond me. I don't know why.
Like, bro, when I saw this trailer, because I knew that that was one of the 5 trailers I had to talk about, and so when I watched the trailer, I was like, what the fuck is this shit? Like, what am I watching right now? It just like the gory, this gory like comedic shit that I watched in that trailer just reminded me of like the dumb shit that we get these days in the animated shows.
It really
like,
just didn't have the same feel that
I just didn't really care for it. I mean, again, I haven't seen the show The Boys, but that trailer just reminded me of like the gay shit that we get these days from like the new like Cartoon Network animated shows, like all those other like gory animated shows that we get.
Yeah.
So
Dave, you're a Boys fan though. I mean, like, how'd you feel about it?
Yeah, I'm a big Boys fan. I don't know. Like I said, the trailer just it feels so disconnected from what The Boys is. I mean, it's one of those things where, as me and my girlfriend, who are huge The Boys fans, like we go out, got all the Funko Pops from them. The second we watched it, it just feels so disconnected. It feels like its own show, and I don't think it's going to go well because it's like I don't know who's going to watch it. As Jose said, it's kind of like some of the messed up shit we see on Cartoon Network these days. But the Cartoon Network watchers are not going to be watching this, and I know as far as I know, none of the people that watch The Boys want to watch it either. So I think this one's going to be a flop.
If it was like Star Wars right now and it was so divided, I would understand this move because it's something for a different audience. But The Boys seems to be pretty universally beloved by its audience.
Pretty straightforward fan base,
right? Yeah. And like to me, this would make more sense if it was like Star Wars, where there was divisiveness and people who want a variety. Then it's like, okay, we'll make this for you. But when I'm watching this, I'm like, who's this made for? What's the target audience? Because this is definitely made for the Boys fans, I don't think.
And it's one of those shows where you just said it perfect. It's one of those shows that are made for people I don't think the show is ever going to get to.
Yeah, exactly.
And they're never going to watch it, and it's made for them, but there's no one they're watching.
That's what it feels like it's made for. It's made for kids, but they're never going to watch it because of the subject matter of The Boys. You know what I mean? So that's never going to happen. So yeah,
I feel like with the blood and gore and all that shit, the parents aren't gonna let their kids watch that shit.
No, it's so they're target. Like Dave was saying, it's made for an audience it's never gonna get to.
Exactly. So it's gonna be a big flop from what I'm hearing.
Right. Yeah. I don't think so. I don't think it's gonna do well at all. Look, I'll check it out. I'm a fan of the franchise and of the property, so I'm definitely gonna give it a chance. But it's gonna take a lot to get me on this. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like it really is as a fan. So. We'll see. Anyway, look, a couple other big pieces of news as far as the trailers go here. Elvis I definitely want to talk about as a massive Baz Luhrmann fan, as a massive musical biopic fan, at least 50% of the time they get me. And as also pretty I'm not like a huge Elvis Presley fan, but I think it's a story worth tackling. I know enough about the history of Elvis, just more or less because of my parents and stuff. Like I've heard enough about this. There've been like TV movies in the past, and I think to have somebody as masterful as Baz Luhrmann tackling this story is going to be great. This trailer is amazing. I was so blown away. I thought it looks like everything I wanted it to be. And more, and you got Tom Hanks in there playing the Colonel. I love that. I can't wait to see what he brings to that role. And I'm not familiar with Austin Burke. Jose, for some reason, I feel like you are, or am I mistaken on that? Like you're familiar with the actor?
I'd have to see his face. He sounds familiar. But I was just gonna say that this trailer kind of just reminded me of like like Rocket Man and all these other movies that they've done about like these famous singers from way back when, and so I'm actually really excited for this movie. I actually can't wait. I watched the trailer again because it was one of the trailers I had to talk about, and so the same day that I watched The Boys Diabolical, I watched the Elvis one. And I honestly really enjoyed the trailer, and I can't wait to watch this. So,
and Baz Luhrmann, one of my favorite musicals of all time, which was Moulin Rouge. And I like Lerman's other work too. I mean, with Romeo and Juliet and The Great Gatsby, I just think the guy's really masterful at what he does. So I'm excited to see him direct this. And Austin Burke again. I'm not familiar with the casting choice, but he is doing all the singing, to my knowledge, in the trailer. So I'm sold, on him being a good choice to play Elvis Presley. I don't know, David, you have any thoughts on this one, or is this not something you're looking forward to?
I watched the trailer. It looks like it's going to be a great movie. I'm excited for it. I don't like Elvis personally. I don't hate his music or anything. It's just I really love rock music, and I know he's breakthrough. He was ahead of his time, but at the same time, I feel like in terms of his actual musical skills, in terms of like singing and stuff, I feel like a million artists today could pick up his music and do better with it performance wise.
Fair enough.
That being said, his dance moves were great performance wise. The songs were great. And like I said, more importantly, story wise, it looks like it'll turn out to be a great movie. So I'll still be there to watch it, even though I'm not a big fan of his music.
Absolutely. Yeah. And then, moving into really quick here, we'll try to move right along so we can get into Strange. We also had Jordan Peele's Nope. Sorry, go ahead.
Austin Butler, he was in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. He was in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Okay, but is there anything else? Like, I feel like he's...
Oh, shit. Ned's Declassified Guide to School Survival.
Okay.
That's where I know him.
Fair enough. All right, that's why I was turning to Jose. I was like, I knew he was in like a kid's thing.
Yeah. And Zeke and Luther, sorry.
That one yeah, there you go. Yeah, see, Jose would know. So
those are my childhoods right there, bro.
So you do know him.
Yeah.
So I was sold after the trailer that he was right for this.
100%.
On paper, it didn't look good to me, but like seeing it in the trailer, I was like, oh wow, he seems pretty good. So I'm gonna trust Baz Luhrmann. I'm gonna trust he does a good job with this. Look, the last one here is Jordan Peele's Nope. Before Strange. I'm a massive Jordan Peele fan. I know Us was a little bit more divisive. I love that movie. I thought it was so good.
You know that Twilight show, whatever the hell it's called?
Twilight Zone. He's the he didn't create Twilight Zone. I mean,
obviously no.
This is the third iteration of it, but yeah, he is behind the most recent version of Twilight Zone, which I've seen a couple episodes of, and I actually really like that too.
Yeah, I was gonna say I enjoyed that too.
Yeah. But when I saw Get Out, I mean, like much like a lot of other people, was like, we really have like a really great new voice for horror films.
Oh yeah, Jordan Peele's Nope or Get Out was great. I honestly really enjoyed that movie.
Yeah,
it was great.
And Us was I'm not gonna say I liked it better than Get Out. I think I still like Get Out overall more, but I loved Us. Like, I loved it. I thought it was impressive. I know it's like divisive, and some people walked out of that just not liking Jordan Peele anymore or whatever, but I personally am still on board. I thought he did a great job with that movie. I love this trailer though. I thought it was a really good spot for the Super Bowl. Just the fact that it was like, you don't know what it is. I'm assuming it has something to do with aliens.
Bro, it's scary. It made me shit my pants. I was scared. It reminded me of those movies that just made me shit my pants.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, man.
Don't know if I'll be watching this though.
Yeah, we'll see. I think that this is, if it's aliens, I bet you do, because I know you.
I don't know. I haven't seen the alien movies because I feel like they would scare the hell out of me, but we'll see. So
sure. But
like, I haven't seen like Prometheus or any of those like Alien or Predator movies because I feel like it scare the hell out of me.
Yeah,
so,
this does look like it could be terrifying. Dave, what do you think? Did you check this one out?
Yeah, I haven't seen Us yet. I did see Get Out, and I was a big fan. After watching that, I wish Jordan Peele was in charge of Candyman, because I saw Candyman and it was god awful. But yeah, that movie. I've only walked out of a movie theater once, but that was the second closest I've ever come to walking out of a movie theater.
That was DaCosta, I think, is doing the new Captain Marvel, so we'll see. Candyman.
I say fuck those movies like Candyman and Bye Bye Man, because just from watching the trailers, I was like, yeah, no, fuck that, I'm gonna get nightmares.
Yeah, but Candyman's at least it's based on a classic. That's like
I like the classic. The classic is amazing. The redo, it has the same issue that what you said the Uncharted movie had as an issue, which is most of it is what you see in the movie is in the trailer. Like, it really is. Like, all the biggest horror scenes that were in Candyman were basically already in the trailer, and I was not surprised or scared at any point, which is one of the biggest, aspects of horror, is shock. I never got that once during Candyman, which is where I was disappointed. The classic I definitely did, but the newer one, not so much. That being said, Nope has a great lineup on it. I really like the actors and actresses in it. So I'm looking forward to it, and it definitely piques my interest.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, man, and I think like for me, it's you know, I like when I like when somebody like Jordan Peele has the clout where you can put out a trailer like this and people will go see it because the name Jordan Peele's on it. You know, like it doesn't necessarily even have to tell you what it's about. It just has to be enough to show you it's a movie. You know, it's in good hands. It's well made. You know what I mean? It's got, you know, that cinematography you want from Jordan Peele. It did get made. And then you put the name Jordan Peele on there, people will go. You know, people will show up.
It's funny because anytime I think about Jordan Peele, I just think about Key and Peele. Like that's all that comes to mind. Because of what?
I was gonna mention too, to jump off something Dave said. Did you guys see like Uncharted did like really well? It's opening.
I mean, it's doing. Oh, you're talking about numbers? Oh, okay, no, I haven't seen that.
Yeah, well, it was projected at 30 million. And made 50 million on domestic, so that's pretty good.
Okay.
Like, and people love it, and I'm happy for them. I really am. Like,
I mean, last I checked, the audience like it, but the critics don't. Which I mean,
yeah, audiences are loving the fuck out of it. So
yeah.
To be fair too, I mean, a lot of the money aspect of it just goes to the fact that Tom Holland, Mark Wahlberg had a great trailer. Right. So I mean, that's like Nobody came out last year. Nobody is a freaking amazing movie. I loved it. It's much better than I guarantee you Uncharted was, but it didn't have Tom Holland and Mark Wahlberg in it with the craziest action trailer you've ever seen.
Yeah,
so it's always going to outperform my money.
Thick in the pandemic too. You know what I mean? It's like
it's done. It's done 106.4 mil global for the weekend.
Oh, that's pretty good. Yeah, wow.
That's pretty good for a movie that wasn't projected to do that well.
And even though I didn't like it, I'm rooting for a sequel. I really am, because I think that the bones are there. You know, the foundation's there for something really great. I liked parts of it. There are aspects of it I like, the casting being one of them. I thought that Tom Holland and Mark Wahlberg are the most entertaining part of the movie. You know, the rest of it unfortunately just falls pretty flat.
Which is good, because Mark Wahlberg's a hit or miss when it comes to movies.
Look, I know people are going to have a different opinion, and it was a very different iteration of the Sully character, but I thought that like the bones were there. You know, like the writing was Sully. And he did it in a Mark Wahlberg way, but it just happened to work because he plays really well off of Tom Holland's Nathan Drake, who just knocked it out of the park. I mean, Tom Holland's great in Uncharted. He's fantastic.
That's good to hear.
Yeah, he's the best part of the movie. He's phenomenal. So I enjoyed that stuff about it. But look, let's talk about Strange. I know we're all waiting. Talk about this Doctor Strange trailer. And yeah, I mean, Jose, I mean, what'd you think, man, of the trailer?
Honestly, blew my mind. I mean, there's rumors out there saying that this is going to be the movie with the most characters, even like including Endgame, which I can't see how, maybe because it's a multiverse movie that it will. Obviously Professor X has been confirmed to be in this movie. From my point of view,
he was in the trailer, right?
Yeah, and it looks like Captain Marvel's going to be in this as well.
From what?
From what I saw,
I didn't see a Captain Marvel reference.
I mean, no, not a reference, but it looked like Captain Marvel's character was in the trailer.
I didn't see her, point of view. But
are you talking about Wanda?
No, not Wanda. Obviously, Wanda's in it. The fuck? Okay. I mean,
I didn't see anything on Captain Marvel, but no.
Yeah. Obviously, there's rumors going around that Tom Cruise is in it as this Iron Man variant, whatever.
Pretty heavily rumored, yeah.
So that'll be interesting if he's actually in this film to see him.
Yeah.
But no, I honestly, Captain Chavez, or the hell that character's name is, interesting character. I'm just really excited to see what this movie brings, because there's also rumors saying that Tobey Maguire is going to be in this movie.
I think Tobey is going to be in it. I actually think it's a no-brainer to have Tobey with Sam Raimi directing.
I mean, I was going to say, with the director of Tobey Maguire Spider-Man films, it's only obvious that Tobey Maguire should be in it as Spider-Man. So,
well, the person who does I think it's the Portuguese dubbing for Elizabeth Olsen, tweeted out a picture with the person that does the Portuguese dubbing for Tobey, with the 3 Spider-Man on his shirt, and the caption was "Great things are coming." So I almost think it's 100%. Okay. Disney's kind of put out an advertisement now. We know Captain Carter's going to be in it. Peggy's Carter's definitely going to be in the movie.
Oh, you seen that's from What If?
Yeah, she's going to be in the movie. The Shield is on the poster or whatever too. So
I did see a tweet about that.
Yeah, can confirm Ryan Reynolds is not in this movie, for all the people who
Which
have
I
who-
wouldn't see why Deadpool would be in this shit.
yeah, I
be
can
honest.
confirm Ryan Reynolds is not in the movie. 100%.
Which makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, so that information's out there if you guys really want to know how I know that. But yeah, he's definitely not in the movie. And then the other part of this is you know, I mean the trail, I mean the big thing is, I mean, Dave, I mean, you know, say it with me, and Charles Xavier, I mean, right, Sir Patrick Stewart, you know, coming back to reprise
Yeah.
that role. I think everybody's pretty stoked about that.
I'm
We
hella
need it.
stoked. Yeah, I'm hella stoked for that.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah.
I'm upset it didn't happen in WandaVision, that we didn't get a look at Magneto then. But
Yeah.
I will say, because Jose hit a lot of my points, one of the things I'm really happy with is I did not read into Doctor Strange at all or see any trailers
Right.
or any teasers or anything leading up to the Super Bowl commercial. So when I finally saw it, one of the things that I really loved was how freaking dark it is. I had no people
Yeah.
told me it was going to be dark, but when I watched the trailer, I really got the sense like, holy shit, I think
Well,
this
I
is
mean,
going to be
yeah.
like no other Marvel movie we've ever seen before.
Yeah, I think
There's
so.
that. There's, I mean, there's, you know, the version of Doctor Strange that is supposed to be like his dark side. So I just like the whole dark aesthetic
Mhm.
that the trailer brought. You know, those dark rooms
Yeah.
and all the dark magic being used within this trailer. I thought was really cool, and it's definitely something that we haven't seen ever in a Marvel film. And I'm glad that they're finally deciding to do that.
Oh,
with
yeah.
this movie, and I'm just ready. I'm just excited to see all the different variants that are in this
Yeah.
in this movie.
I-
Because I mean, we also saw the Wanda variant. In the
Yeah, we
trailer,
see
which was pretty
Wanda.
cool, which is
And
cool to see as well. So
And it
Yeah.
only makes sense too with how dark it is, and the rumors of Tobey Maguire. I think if we don't see jazzy Spider-Man 3 Tobey Maguire, then this movie's a failure. I mean, what's the point if I don't get a scene of Tobey Maguire just jazz boxing straight into a scene, snapping his fingers with the black hair? If it doesn't happen, I hope he's not in it at all.
Oh man, that'd
You
be
mean-
Stay
interesting.
home.
you mean his like Venom version almost? Well, Dark Spider-Man version, I guess. That
Right.
was pretty. Yeah,
Yeah,
we
Venom.
need to see that. That'd be cool.
Well, look, I mean, it makes sense. It's dark, and it starts to make more sense to me the more we see of this. Why Sam Raimi is doing it. Not only is he behind the Spider-Man movies or the Tobey trilogy, but he's also the man behind the Evil Dead, one of the most popular horror franchises out there. One of my personal favorites. So to me, like, it just makes sense that Sam Raimi is doing this.
Because
He
he
has
also
such
had.
a great background in horror.
I was gonna say because there was also he did the whole Venom thing in that one Spider-Man movie, so it only makes sense that he's part of this like darker movie for Marvel.
Yeah. He's got those sensibilities. So the more we see of it,
Yeah.
yeah. Look, we'd love to hear from the audience too. I mean, what you guys thought of all those trailers. But yeah, before
Let me know what you
go
guys thought of my joke. What y'all thought of my jokes as well. any pointers that you guys think that
Yeah, look, I mean, Jose is going to be our movie trailers correspondent, so we're very excited to keep him on board there. So so exciting stuff. It's one of my new favorite bits that we do, to be honest with you. Look, and then the other thing we'll talk about here is Dave is going to be on the news. This is something new that we're going to be doing here, and with all that said, Dave, take it away. What do we got?
Yes, sir. I'm going to start off strong with Peacemaker here.
All right.
James Gunn's DC action comedy is coming back for a second round. That's right. Peacemaker has officially been renewed for season 2. Gunn has said he also has ideas for more Suicide Squad spinoffs, and Ann Sarnoff has been big on trying to make DC work in a more organized and integrated way. To me, that spells out finally having a DC universe that's a little bit more continuity filled than 3 whole movies. So I'm really stoked about that. And there's an obvious insinuation that we'll get something with Peacemaker in there.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I mean, look, not only is Peacemaker, it's a spinoff of the Suicide Squad, right? But not only was it that, it was just so much more. It's a character study of this character. And if you'd ask me when I watched the Suicide Squad, who do you want to see a show on of all these guys? Peacemaker would have been the last one I told you. Boy, did James Gunn prove me wrong as a creator, man. Everything he touches just turns to gold. And dude, I mean, look, this show is not only better than the Suicide Squad movie, it's my favorite thing in the DCEU so far.
Yes.
I 100% hands down.
I'm glad you said that because I'm
Oh.
not a big DC guy. I really am not. I mean, of course, I love The Dark Knight, the Joker, but this has really made me fall in love with DC. And then the fact that when I read this article here on the renewal for season 2 and that Ann Sarnoff wants to make it more of a universe, I was so happy because she's obviously insinuating that Peacemaker is going to be a big part of that. And he is one of my favorite DC characters now. I didn't even really, I liked him a little bit in Suicide Squad, but this whole series being the character study of Peacemaker was so good. John Cena did a great job. And as John Cena said himself, he feels free here. I've never really liked John Cena's acting. And in this, you know, coming into it before the first episode ever aired, he goes, in this show, I get to be me. I get to play me. And I get to do what I do. And you see him move in this show like he never has and act like he never has. And he did such an excellent job. Nothing but respect for him now.
I feel like John Cena and James Gunn were having a conversation, and John Cena was like, look, man, I've gotten by this whole time on good looks and charisma. And James Gunn was just like, challenge accepted. And like put him in the correct role with great directing, great writing. And you put anybody in the right role, you can make it work. You know, it just all the pieces just kind of got to fall into place. I think John Cena proves that here in Peacemaker. It makes so much sense. It makes too much sense almost that Peacemaker got renewed for season 2. I mean, really, it does. Yeah. And it's fantastic, man. I can't wait, dude, especially after that finale. It was pretty hot. So.
Yeah. And this is a non-spoiler for Jose because now you know it's renewed for season 2. But I'm not going to lie. In the finale, get the sense that there might not be a season 2 at one point. I mean, there was a scene. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. There was a scene where the theme was playing. It was epic. It was cinematic. And when it started getting distorted, I was like, "Oh shit!
Yeah,
is this gonna be a last stand here?" And so I'm very happy to see that we're getting a season 2 out of this because it was so excellent. I mean, I loved it. I'd say it's on par with The Boys. It's definitely its own thing, but it has a lot of the great aspects that The Boys has, and then some.
Yeah. I agree, man. I 100% agree. I like it better than The Boys. It's honestly one of my favorite comic book things out there, like right now, is Peacemaker. But yeah, Jose, you gonna be watching this at some point? I know.
Well, I mean, after all this, what I'm gonna do is tomorrow I'm going to watch the Suicide Squad movie, and then right after that, start the Peacemaker and try and finish it.
Watch the whole thing tomorrow.
Soon as literally try and watch because I don't have school Friday. I'm gonna just as soon as I get back home from school, I'm gonna just watch the movie and just finish the whole show that same day. Like, at this point now that it's confirmed for season 2, it's like I have to watch it now. So I'm setting myself to do that tomorrow.
It's genuinely that good, man. It's genuinely that good.
And, it flows
too.
It does.
Like you won't realize you're on episode 4 when you are. Like you'd be like, oh my god, this is flowing by.
Like, I've been I mean, there's some movies that I don't like from John Cena, and there's others that I do. I mean, he's kind of hit or miss for me, and from the sounds of it, this is like his best performance ever.
It is, and
so I'm just super excited to get into this. So I'm definitely gonna be doing that tomorrow.
I would suggest that we started to see the seeds of it in the Suicide Squad movie. Like to me, like when I saw the Suicide Squad, it's like he kind of peaked a little dramatic in that. You know, like there was one scene in particular in that movie. I won't give it away for Jose, but. And then like they really just built upon that in like the best way possible. And yes, like he said, like Dave says here, I mean, it plays and it flows and it's rewatchable. I want to watch it again. That's how much I love it. It's that damn good. I've watched the finale quite a few times, just the finale alone, because I think I'm gonna say this. You take the fan service out of the finale, it's still a bomb ass finale. Like you know what I'm talking about too.
Big time.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that really just has going for it that I know Jose will catch on to is it's unbelievable how fast the team chemistry of all the characters came together. And I'll say Vigilante, especially as a character in the show that is just came out of nowhere and surprised me. He steals the show. He is my favorite character, a fan favorite, and everyone who reads the comics loves this iteration of Vigilante way better than anything else we've ever seen. The actor who plays him absolutely kills it.
Well, James Gunn is great at that, taking these characters that are a little more obscure and just like making them great. Like Polka Dot Man, he googled what's the worst superhero, the most hated superhero, and he used it because
that is true. I mean, that is one of the most hated and like most ridiculous super villains. I mean, I saw a video the other day and that was one of them. But I was gonna say the Vigilante character. I did watch a video of John Cena and like the actor who plays him talking. And
what's that guy's name?
And it seems like they had like really good fun filming together and that they have like great chemistry too.
Yeah, They do, and the whole thing is just so amazing, and yeah, and guys, honestly, out there who are listening, if you haven't checked out Peacemaker yet, get on it. It's
Is
really
it
that damn good.
Freddie Stroma? Is that
Freddie
him?
Stroma, yeah, very good in the show, and
Adrian Chase.
became an immediate fan favorite. So,
Killer.
Absolutely.
And the music was the last thing I wanted to point out. Was
Yes.
the music in this show is like no other. I don't think I've ever downloaded so many soundtracks from a TV show or movie and instantly added them into my playlist that I go on daily. So great songs in this. You're always going to get that with James Gunn, but especially here it hits different.
Absolutely. Well, another thing I'll say too is, without spoiling it, the fan service, while like I said, you could take it away and it's still a bomb-ass finale. It's cool that it's there because it does make the universe feel all the more connected without giving away what it is, you know. It really does. And it's just now, after watching the show, I'm just convinced that DC is on a really good trajectory. They have a plan now, and things are strong, you know, full steam ahead. So all right, what's next?
Alrighty. And before I move on, one little side piece of news from Peacemaker. James Gunn did engage the actress that plays Hardcore, so congratulations to them. I'm sure they watched the show and they'll send me a thank you letter after this.
Yes, sure they do.
Alrighty. Next, we have a big day in news for Mr. Jim Halpert from The Office. The announcement was made by John Krasinski during a Paramount Investor Day presentation that A Quiet Place Part 3 is set to release in 2025. No director or writer was specified or announced, but obviously it's going to be John Krasinski. He's done the last two movies and done an excellent job with them.
Yeah, and really quick, I wanted to point out in the article as well that they did talk about, and I forgot all about this, the director of Pig is going to be doing a spin-off movie, I think in 2023. So we're going to get a spin-off movie of A Quiet Place from the director of Pig, and then we're going to get The Quiet Place Part 3 in 2025. Jose, go ahead and take it away.
What? Oh, Quiet Place 2?
3.
Oh, 3. Like what? What am I looking forward to?
Yeah.
Or
take it away. What do you think of the story?
I mean, we saw A Quiet Place 1 and 2, the same day, basically, because I'd never seen him before.
Yeah, we binged them.
And oh my goodness gracious, was I impressed. I never thought John Krasinski could do this amazing. I never thought I could like a horror movie as much as I had A Quiet Place 1 and 2. It made me cry. Like the scene of John Krasinski sacrificing himself for his kids was, oh my god, man, that had me in tears, man. It was, I saw it coming in a way, obviously, but it still just hit me hard, man. And Quiet Place 2 was also phenomenal. Emily Blunt obviously is,
so good,
incredibly talented.
Top tier.
Oh my goodness, like that was honestly one of my favorite performances by Emily Blunt to date. Honestly, she outdid herself and more, and I'm just looking forward to see what's in store next for her and her kids in A Quiet Place 3, and I'm ready to see where John Krasinski takes this next movie.
Yeah, absolutely. Dave, I don't think we've ever talked about A Quiet Place before. I mean, what's your take on it?
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of A Quiet Place, especially because I feel like a lot of movies these days recycle a lot of ideas. And I think A Quiet Place did a really good job of world building in original ways, coming up with original problems in the movie and solutions to them, especially part 2. I'm not going to lie. I call a lot of stuff in movies. I thought when the one monster was floating out to sea, that was it. And then as soon as I caught that boat again, it really caught me off guard. I was like, oh shit, this is about to get real rough. So A Quiet Place 2, really good. Got me just comfortable enough and then just poured me on my head. So great movie. I cannot wait for part 3. After part 1, I didn't think part 2 would follow up and measure up. And I was so surprised with it. So excited for part 3. Can't wait to see what they do with that one.
Yeah, and Jose, I know you're a big fan of Pig, so how about the fact that the Pig director is going to be doing the spinoff movie as well?
More power to him. Honestly, I really enjoyed the movie Pig. I saw that one on Hulu myself, and I was very impressed. And honestly, more power to him. And I can't wait to see what's in store for the spinoff series that he's wanting to do. So.
Absolutely. And so for me, like Jose knows this, I've said it a billion times. Quiet Place Part 2 is my favorite movie of 2021. It hasn't been beat. He said
it's the best thing since Empire Strikes Back.
No. That's wrong. I said it was the best sequel since Empire. sequel I've seen since Empire
yeah.
Strikes Back. I think it does just as well to build its world, kind of like Dave was saying a little bit ago. Honestly, and we just don't get movies made like this anymore. That movie is going to be one of my favorites for a long time. Like, it's going to be a hard movie to top for a lot of years to come. Maybe 2025 when Part 3 comes out, it'll happen. But as of right now, Quiet Place Part 2 is probably the best thing I'd seen in probably the past 20 years. Honestly, just
That's
because
awesome.
it's that good of a sequel to me. It's one of those movies, Dave, and you probably agree. I mean, we don't get it anymore. The hard work is on the screen. You know, it's really all there, and it's built so well. Yeah, man, I can't wait. By the way, because I don't know if I talked to Jose about The Office before, but I know Dave, you're an Office guy, right? So yeah, so like I've been doing the rewatch, and I got into
That's what she said.
Season, right, yeah, no, season 7. I think now, while not a lot of shows have season 7s or get to that point, I gotta say I think that might be the best opener for a 7th season I've ever seen in season 7. You know the one I'm talking about, when they're doing the video, the nope, like it's just so good. Like, it's one of those sequences that like define all the
I remember
characters. Yeah, it defines all the characters so well.
You get a perfect glimpse at each character and exactly how they are in the show. That's if somebody, now that you say that, if somebody asked me how would you describe each character, I think I'd just show them that sequence.
Yeah, there you go.
This is it. You get Angela slamming the door in your face. You get Ryan out here trying to scheme from his closet for Wolf.com.
Yeah.
You get Creed Bratton out here thinking he's a superstar, and then he's, singing it the whole time that he played the guitar. And you just get the nuttiness of, Kevin and Meredith. You get Stanley playing face. You're falling behind here. Let's go.
Right,
and,
exactly.
You get the nerdiness definitely of Dwight and Michael in that sequence. That's excellent.
It's just a testament to how good those writers are. Talk about world building too. I mean, because really, I mean, they just built those characters so well at that point. It's just, and then I love that when you get to season 7, just everything feels that established, and they just, for an opening like that, it was just astoundingly good.
Killer.
Yeah, Jose, you like The Office too, though, huh? Because I heard you do that. That's what she said. So yeah. I wasn't sure if you,
bro, that show is so fun. I love that show. It's one of my favorite shows, honestly. It's very funny. Michael Scott is just hilarious. John Krasinski is also, like, I never thought I'd see the day where he would make 2 movies as incredible as A Quiet Place and A Quiet Place Part 2. Honestly. And I can't wait to see what he does with A Quiet Place Part 3, because I know it's just going to be phenomenal.
Yeah,
honestly.
he came out of nowhere, man. He really did. And like, not out of nowhere. I mean, we knew who he was, but like as a director, he came out of nowhere.
Yeah, exactly.
It just like destroyed.
And like you say, like you said, he did an FU to scary movies.
He did. It's a good horror movie because it's an anti-horror movie. You know,
exactly.
And that's what kind of what makes it work in an ironic
and I
way.
guess that's why it's like my favorite. It's probably one of my favorite, if not one of my favorite scary movie, like sequel or whatever, because it's not actually it's not something that actually scares me, but it's very well directed, and the silence in the movies is what really I really enjoyed a lot from those movies. No one appreciates the silence in movies, and he just played them very well. It's true. Movies.
It's true. He shows that silence matters too in that movie. And,
exactly.
And I couldn't agree with you more, man.
Yeah. People just don't appreciate the silence in movies as much as nowadays. But yeah, he really did play the silence. Yeah. The silence in those films amazingly.
I really admire restrictive films in terms of, like, just this morning I watched, I think it's called The Guilty with Jake Gyllenhaal. And essentially, like, the whole movie is filmed in basically the same room. Like, the only time he leaves the room is to walk into a room that's attached to the same room. And sometimes you get a movie like that or A Quiet Place that's so good that you forget that they're not talking the entire movie. You forget that this is being filmed in one room, basically. So I really appreciate when a movie can distract me from things like that. And in the aftermath, I go, holy shit, I just watched Jake Gyllenhaal in a room for an hour and 45 minutes. Yeah. And it was great. That was excellent.
That was like the Malcolm and Marie movie that we saw. With,
Yeah. That's a good
Denzel's son. That movie, it was filmed all in one room, and it was literally just them two. And even though it was just them two and it was in one room, it's so
captivating.
It was phenomenal. Honestly, it's I'm surprised that Zendaya didn't win
I know.
for that movie.
We're the
because,
only two
like,
people in the world that feel that way, apparently. But
oh my
yeah,
goodness,
about that movie.
because like her,
Yeah.
honestly, her there's performances in there that she did that honestly
Amazing.
were, like, jaw
I'll have
dropping.
to give that one a
Like,
shot.
you
Yeah.
need to, honestly, it's black and white.
I'd be
And
curious
it's
to know what you think of it, Dave. I really would be. Yeah.
Is it out
Honestly,
streaming yet?
It's
do you
on
know?
Netflix. Yeah. Yeah, it's a
Netflix,
Netflix
yeah.
original movie. Yeah. Should
We're
watch
gonna
it.
reconvene at the end of this and make me a list.
Yeah, absolutely.
For sure, yeah. But no, honestly, like, because Dom was like, Jose, because it was after Tragedy Macbeth, right? That he was like,
we watched,
Jose,
we watched Tragedy Macbeth, and like we were
And then
gonna
he-
watch
and then he was
something
like-
else,
yeah, he
and
was
then
like,
but I was like, look, man, but you haven't seen Malcolm and Marie, and we need,
And he-
even
'cause he
though
was
it's
like-
not a 2021 movie, you got to watch it. Yeah.
he asked me, he's like, you ever heard or seen of Malcolm and Marie? I was like, no. He's like, oh, it's with Denzel's son and Zendaya. It's literally just them two. It's black and white and it's in one room. I was like, oh, let's get, yeah, fuck it, Zendaya, let's do it.
Yeah.
And oh my goodness gracious, man, that movie is honestly phenomenal. You have to give it a watch, man. It's great.
pretty
Loved
fucking
it.
fantastic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
honestly,
That was my favorite movie of 2020, not 2021. 2020, that was my favorite one. Honestly, yeah.
Shoot, it might just have to be mine as well. I mean,
Yeah.
jeez.
I'm with you, man. I
But-
love those contained movies. Like I'm with you, Dave,
Yeah.
on that. Yeah. Have you ever
Oh,
seen
same.
Locke?
100%.
Have you ever seen Locke with Tom Hardy?
No, and I love Tom Hardy.
Give it a
What
watch,
year
man.
was this?
I don't remember.
need
It was
to-
a
I need-
while
Oh,
back.
so I need to watch this too because I'm a big Tom Hardy fan too.
It's so the whole movie, Tom Hardy's in a car. That's the whole movie.
Oh wow.
Oh
Yeah.
wow.
And his performance, it might be my favorite performance of his, honestly, because he
Yeah.
carries the
I'm
whole movie on his
watching-
shoulders.
I'm watching a second Tom Hardy movie right now. So once I'm done with that, I'll catch up to it. It's a movie with two twins. I've only got like 20 minutes in it, then I had to run. But it's him playing himself twice as two twins. So once I'm done with that one, I'll definitely move on to Locke.
Oh,
That sounds great.
Legend! I love.
Yes.
That's a good movie.
Yeah.
That's a good movie.
I'm only like
I really
20 minutes
like
in
it.
or so, and it's already pretty captivating, catching my attention here. So I've enjoyed it a lot. I felt bad that I had to jump up and run.
Jose would like that one a lot too. Like he likes the mafia stuff too. So like Legend,
yeah,
if you
yeah.
hasn't seen it, it's called Legend. It's
Legend?
Tom Hardy plays two different roles. It's great. It's
Legend.
fantastic. But yeah, and
Oh, that one's on Netflix.
Yeah.
Nice.
But
Yeah.
Locke has Tom Holland. Tom Holland plays Tom Hardy's son in Locke, and you only hear him through the phone though. He's not like, you don't physically see Tom Holland in Locke. You just hear him through the phone.
Oh wow.
Like he calls him, and he's good in there too. Even as a young actor, you hear some of the work he's doing. It's like, oh wow, he was even great back then, Tom Holland. So we got Spidey and Venom in that movie before it even came to fruition. And well, yeah, I mean, we see.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, no, it's just really cool. But Locke is great if you guys haven't seen it. Really good, like contained.
Yeah, it's on.
Movie.
I mean, it's on Hulu, but you need a premium subscription.
Oh, okay.
And it's also on Amazon Prime, but you need to. It's on Showtime. So I mean,
Right.
it's only.
I
on
think I got Showtime. I'll hook you up with that one.
All right, bet.
Sweet.
Because I don't have premium.
I got
Hulu.
Showtime.
I don't have premium Hulu, so.
Right on. All right, Dave, what's next?
Definitely getting right back to John Krasinski. Before part
Right.
3 of Quiet Place comes out, Krasinski will have another directorial and starring role that's set to release in 2023 in the movie If. He's starring alongside the likes of Steve Carell once again, just like the good old Office days, and
Oh, yeah.
Ryan Reynolds in addition, which I think will be an interesting mix. I got a quick synopsis of the film right here, just a little 2 cents, and it's: a child can see and talk to people's imaginary friends, befriending those that have been forgotten or discarded. Some imaginary friends turn to the dark side and become evil.
All right. John Krasinski, I'm in. He's won me over as a filmmaker. I think he's very talented and professional. I mean, at what he does. The synopsis doesn't matter to me. It's like John Krasinski. Yeah, sign me up. If he's directing it. Honestly, I'm just right there. But yeah, having him and Steve Carell team back up to do anything is exciting, obviously, and I'm very excited about that. And then Ryan Reynolds is having a really nice career right now. I think Free Guy really.
He's. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, I think Free Guy just, really showed that he can do like one of these movies and not play Deadpool. Because for the longest time he was on this run, it was like, okay, everything else he's doing is Deadpool, and the reason Deadpool works is because it's unique to Deadpool. But then you throw him in something like Free Guy, and you look at it, and you're like, oh wow, he could play like this innocence, and I think he's starting to go down the right path. And Krasinski is not going to make him play the same thing we'd seen him do. That's for sure.
He's
And
gonna
so I'm
make him
excited.
play. He's gonna make him play something that he's never played before. Really,
Exactly.
get him out there and really take a risk,
Yeah.
play a role he's never done before. And yeah, like you said, I mean, Ryan Reynolds, he's doing it right. His career is going up and it's just going to keep going up. He's this big name now where like he can get permission from Disney to use, you know, Marvel and Star Wars stuff. And yeah, I'm just really, you know, John Krasinski as a director, sign me up. Like you said, Dom, I mean, his A Quiet Place and Quiet Place 2 movies have impressed me to a whole new level. And yeah, Steve Carell, I mean, he's funny. I love Steve Carell. I mean, the movie with Ryan Gosling was the one that we watched. Was great.
Oh, Crazy Stupid Love is amazing. So
that one, exactly. So yeah, I mean, these three together, I'm super excited. Sign me up. I can't wait, man. I think it's gonna be great. It's gonna be some great stuff.
It really quick.
I do.
Go ahead, Dave.
Oh,
I'm sorry. No,
really quick. I just wanted to make sure it is important to note. The Ryan Reynolds did just come out in Hitman's Bodyguard's Wife, which, as I said earlier, talking about walking out of movie theaters, that is the first time I've ever walked out of a movie theater in my life. And I felt sad because I saw the lineup and I thought there's no way this could be bad. So I'm almost scared to see him in If, but I don't think John Krasinski will let him screw up this movie.
No,
definitely not.
I did not like Hitman's Bodyguard. Didn't even bother with the
and
sequel.
I haven't even watched that movie.
Ryan, you owe me $12.
I mean, Hitman's. I mean, the first one was good. I really enjoyed the first one. Hitman's Bodyguard, I really enjoyed, but I just didn't really care for Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard. Yeah, to be honest.
Yeah, no, I did not like. I did not like the first movie, so I didn't bother with the second. But look, it might be good. I don't know. Look, at the end of thanks. At the end of the day, you know, the other thing I would like to point out too is I do hope that this is something that puts, you know, Krasinski on the Academy's radar. I don't know why they choose to ignore A Quiet Place and all the great work he does there. They just do every year. And
that movie didn't get any nominations.
And you know, but you got the cloud of Steve Carell. We can't forget he's an Oscar nominated actor. I do hope that this is the project that gets him on the radar. But if not, fuck it, I'm gonna enjoy it. You know, so so that is what it is. Hopefully, and Ryan Reynolds hopefully gets back on, or you know, into the Academy's radar too, because he's somebody who can use that kind of clout. You know, I think just outside of Deadpool, I mean, he just doesn't have it, unfortunately. So. Anyway, let's anybody else have anything to add on that? I felt like I hogged that one. Okay.
No, you're good.
Nope.
Ryan Reynolds just owes me $12 still.
Oh yeah. All right, Dave, what's next?
Alrighty, next I'm going to keep this one kind of brief because I'd like to just hear all of our thoughts on it. But
Sure.
Halo comes out March 24th to Paramount Plus. Before the first episode has even come out and aired, Paramount has already promised a second season for Halo. Obviously, there wasn't much more to the article because the first episode isn't even out yet, but I am super excited about this from a huge Halo and Xbox fan. Unlike you traders, but
hey, I'm not a trader. I just told you I'm not a trader. I have Xbox.
Oh, okay, yeah, you're not a trader. My bad. Just stop here.
Listen, here's the thing. Okay. I hope this means they have faith in this first season. I hope that they're that confident. I gotta say, I do find this move to be a little dumb, from a business standpoint. That Halo is not going to be great. Listen, the Halo trailer surprised the hell out of me. It looks fantastic.
There's a trailer?
Excited as hell. Oh yeah.
I haven't even. Oh fuck, I haven't even seen the trailer.
You should watch the trailer. Yeah, it's good.
Shit.
I'm excited as hell about the show. I grew up on Halo. It's a franchise I love. It's always something I knew had this potential ever since I was a kid. And at that time, I was just always dreaming that they'd make a movie. Lo and behold, you know, now everything's got to be a series. And I think that's fantastic. It's the better platform for it if you do it right. And I think that the trailer looks great. But from a business standpoint to Greenlight Season 2, I don't know. I mean, outside of Star Trek, Paramount Plus just doesn't have the IP right now. And frankly, like, we got to remember that all these streaming services operate on a deficit. They're all operating on a deficit, Paramount Plus included, to some degree. So for me, it's like you don't have the clout to greenlight this. I don't feel like you gotta let these things happen, let them become big, and then move on. Go to it.
I don't think I've ever heard or seen a company greenlight a second season before even having the first episode of the first season air. Like, this is the first time I ever hear about
now
this.
You could argue like with Dune, for example, right? Like, they greenlit the sequel. They knew that was happening far before the first movie was released.
But I also feel I feel like that's different because I feel like that they all were gonna know that the Dune movie was gonna,
well,
really
it may
hit.
be Paramount's feeling the same way about Halo, but I also
could
feel
be.
like the difference there is they also screwed over Denis Villeneuve, so they had to come up with some kind of compromise.
That is true.
With the
That is
streaming
true.
day and date release, but yeah.
I will say in defense of Paramount Plus, they have now secured A Quiet Place Part 1 and 2. So that, I mean, they got John Krasinski in their pocket, as well as the fact is one of the newest, most underrated shows that, everyone knows I love movies and shows. So everyone keeps telling me about things. And one of those underrated shows that I've watched is Yellowstone, which was absolutely amazing that they also have.
You did tell me about that, Dave.
And yeah, the first episode of Yellowstone is an hour and a half. It is a freaking amazing movie. And I have to say, it is one of the most underrated series. It has still some of the best numbers on live television when it was airing. And they also got the spinoff 1883. So, I mean, I will say as a show that is a strong contender that I'm sure helped them set up a lot of the financial reliability they need to promise Halo season 2.
And I guess I'll just say too that obviously, yeah, big massive fan of the Halo games here too. Obviously as a kid, and obviously Halo Infinite is doing really good right now. I mean, everyone's playing that game. Everyone's saying it's the best thing since the old Halo games.
I know.
Which I mean, I agree because I've played it like hours and hours on end, and it's honestly like phenomenal. It's great. I love it.
Okay, you like Infinite
and Halo Infinite, the new Halo game that just came out.
Yeah.
That's free on Steam, but costs to get on Xbox and PlayStation, which is why I can't wait to get a PC. But no, yeah, and I think that this show is gonna be great. I think I'm gonna really enjoy it, and I actually know the actor who's playing Master Chief in the show. He was in a movie, Dom, that you and I saw actually. Called Summer's End, I believe is the name. The one with Caitlin Dever.
Right,
Remember he played.
Oh,
so he's gonna be playing. He's gonna be playing Master Chief in the show. So I'm really excited for that, and I can't wait to see what the show brings because I'm really excited.
Yeah,
I just need to somehow get a Paramount Plus account.
I just fear them pulling a Kathleen Kennedy here. That's my fear because Halo should be. I understand why they think it's going to be their biggest hype. I understand why they think it's going to be their biggest IP, and it probably should be if you do it right. My fear is the fact that you look at like Star Wars, right, which is Lucasfilm's biggest IP. Oh, we're doing really well. After Force Awakens, this all happened. We're doing great, so we're going to announce this is happening, this is happening, this is happening. I fear the same thing here. I think that we've seen the gamble go badly enough to where you got to be careful right now, I think. And I just think that it's good business to be careful and to not gamble. And even if you have it in mind, and even if you're having those conversations within the studio system, don't announce it yet. Wait till this thing does well, and then we can talk. And I really do hope, beyond all hopes, this is as great as it looks. It looks fantastic, and I've been dying for this since my childhood. Trust me, I'm on Team Halo, guys. Don't get me wrong. I just think that when it comes to confirmation for something like this before you've even put out your first thing, it's a gamble, at least confirming it to the public. I think that this is something you need to really take a step back on, wait to see how it plays out. And look, I'll even give them this. I'll meet them halfway. If your first 3 episodes do well, yeah, announce your season 2. If your first 3 episodes come out and people are like high on it, and it's like one of the biggest things in the world, go ahead and announce it then, but just wait a little bit. Yeah.
And I just saw that this show is it's 20 million per episode because it's gonna be 10 episodes.
Oh wow.
And so it's gonna be 20. They're spending 20 mil per episode.
Yeah, it looks kind of expensive. I mean, that's cheap though, then again, in movie terms, but who knows? It looks great. Whatever they're doing, it looks great. I think it's gonna be good. Dave, I feel like you have a lot more thoughts on this, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it looks amazing, and I feel pretty confident with the gamble because, I mean, they can't have someone as awful as Kathleen Kennedy in charge here, so I'm sure they'll follow through. Like I said, I mean, they've been killing it. As far as 1883, Yellowstone, securing A Quiet Place, I have a lot of faith in them, so I know they're pretty early on here, but Halo looks great. I think as long as they focus on the size of the universe, and I'm pretty sure they're going to capture here, as well as the fact that you can't, it's got to be kind of a drama. You got to really focus on Master Chief here, but you can't make it too cheesy, and that's something I am a little bit worried with, is them making Master Chief a little bit too cheesy and less relatable, a little bit too much like he is in the video games in some aspects.
All right. Yeah, fair enough, man. I just, again, I'm I'm always, it doesn't matter what it is. I'm just going to always say this, like, don't announce your sequel till your first things come out, you know. Um, build on the momentum. Don't create momentum before there isn't any. You know, that's kind of where I'm at with it for business.
Yeah.
Thinking business wise. On the same hand, look, creating momentum. I hope it works out. I do. I hope it does. I really do. But what's next?
Yeah, next we got something that I hold near and dear to my heart, which is one of my favorite sitcoms of all time. That 90s show is officially in the works. Set in 1995, the series follows Leia Foreman, daughter of Eric Foreman and Donna Pinciotti, as Leia spends summer vacation with Eric's parents, Kitty and Red. This is confirmed in the works. I absolutely love this. That 70s show is up there. It's the original Office in my eyes. They actually got Topher Grace and all them coming back, Donna, Kitty, and Red. So I think this is going to be a really great show here. That 80s show was a flop, but then again, that was totally
Right.
disconnected from that 70s show. So I think this one has a lot of potential here.
Yeah, I agree with you. This is one of those cases where obviously it could go downhill very fast, but I for some reason I just have a lot of faith in it. I think like first of all, for myself as a viewer, just my own opinion, and I know not everybody feels this way. While it wasn't a reboot of that 70s show, it was kind of a reunion in a way. I thought The Ranch was very good. I thought it was a very entertaining sitcom on Netflix. I liked it a lot, and I think that this, you know, I think there's this hunger for it right now too, is the other part of it. I really do. I think ever since The Ranch ended, I think there's kind of this hunger for something else, you know, and something with Eric Foreman. Yeah, hell yeah, I'm in, you know. That 90s show could be very cool. I think, you know, it's so fitting that they named their daughter Leia. You know, obviously there's a plethora of Star Wars references in that 70s show. And you know, even captures the time period of when Star Wars first came out in that show. So obviously I'm all on board for that. Look, man, I'm interested. I'm gonna watch this one. I do hope it's successful. I think capturing the time of the 90s could be very interesting. I'm kind of sad that that 80s show flopped, only because I think that's a more interesting time period to capture and explore. But that being said, 90s is a good compromise if we can't have that. So I'll take it. I think it's better to do a reboot where it's going to be more of a continuation of a where are they now than just do a complete reboot. You know what I mean? Like all new characters. I think that's just the way to go. And it seems like a lot of these big IPs are just learning their lesson with that. And I think that 70 show is no exception. So yeah, I'm on board. I'll watch it.
I think with the original cast coming back, they're pretty set. I mean, one thing that I've definitely noticed in these reboots is the ones that do good, like Fuller House, bring back the old cast. You know, pay respect. The Ranch was kind of like its own reunion. The Fuller House did really good. And then, you know, the other ones, that 80s show where they try to do their new thing, or like, I know I've from a lot of my friends that love How I Met Your Mother, they're not big fans of How I Met Your Father.
Because,
there it is.
I mean, Hillary Duff and Josh Peck just can't replace the hole that, you know, you have from, you know,
Jason
Neil Patrick
Segel
Harris.
It's
Neil
okay.
Patrick Harris.
I'll give it
Jason
that. It's
Segel.
okay so far. And that's not great, but yeah, sorry, go ahead. I'm sorry, Dave, I interrupted.
Oh no, yeah, that was it.
Okay.
I just think it has a lot that going for it, since it has that 70s show to build off of, and you know, kind of do what, again, like Ghostbusters Afterlife did, is pay homage and have the old people there, but pass it the torch to a new generation and new characters here and get some good leads in.
I'm gonna add here, seeing as you're a big fan of the show, I definitely want to get your take on this, and I really try not to dive into these controversies on the show, but if it affects the viewing of the thing we're going to be seeing, then I definitely feel like it's worthy to talk about. It's justifiable to talk about here, which is Danny Masterson. Now, to me, Hyde is my favorite character. You think that's going to hurt it in the long run? The fact that if they end up getting everybody but Hyde, you know, like, how's that going to feel? You know, that's kind of like a question I would ask you personally. You know, obviously, it seems like you're an even bigger fan than I am of the show, but yeah, I'll let you take it away here.
Oh, definitely. I mean, yeah, I'll say one of the hardest things for it will be that, I mean, if you go back to the original show and talk to any of the, you know, true fans like me, I mean, Hyde was a lot of the heart of that show. Not just episode to episode, but even his character development throughout the show was really awesome to see. Some of the most emotional parts of that entire series are about Hyde.
Absolutely.
Even more so, that I'd say, than even Eric.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, it would be rough without him. That being said, like, I think it's one of those things where the cast was so big and everyone there was so strong that if you get enough of the pieces there, we could overcome it and just, be distracted by it, especially if we get in like the likes of I'm gonna kill her name, but Mila Kunis and Ashton Kutcher and
Mila
stuff like
Kunis?
that. I mean, yeah, okay, thank you for fixing me up on that. But yeah, I mean, if you can get the likes of them in, I mean, even alone with just Eric, Donna, Red and Kitty confirmed, especially with Red and Kitty, I mean, they're really underrated. Their characters are freaking excellent in that show. I think it's got something great going for it. And
sure,
I mean, even if they could just capture Fez, Ashton Kutcher,
Mila Kunis.
Thank you. Appreciate it. I think they got something really good going for him here.
I hate to beat a dead horse if this is a dead horse, but do you know if there was ever a full verdict on the Masterson thing? Because if not, then maybe we do see him back. Like if this thing gets cleared up for him, and people are probably yelling at me who know more than I do about it. Honestly, I just don't look into this shit. The only reason I know about it is because it affected the ranch, the way it did. But for me,
and I also don't know the studio too, so I don't know.
True.
I mean, a lot of it comes down to who's picking up this show here. Where is it going to be on? I mean, if it's something like Disney, it's definitely not going to happen. But
yeah,
I
that's
mean,
a good point.
If it's something like the likes of
if it's like
Fox
Roku TV, free on Roku TV. But no, man, because like I think that it'd be interesting to look into. I haven't followed up with the case in a while, but I would like to know personally, because I would like to see him back. If they can make it happen. If he's still full-fledged within the controversy right now, I just don't think it'll happen. But that's my take on it. But yeah, I think not having Hyde there is going to hurt the experience a little bit, especially if they can manage to get everybody else. That's just going to feel like a missing piece or something. So I definitely don't want them to say he's dead in this case. Like I thought they handled it well in the ranch, the way they killed him off. But in this case, I don't want them to do that, because then you're really closing the door forever. If this show's a hit, it can go on for a lot of seasons, and who knows if if he ever does get cleared up, or we decide to forgive him, we might be able to bring him back. But I'm sorry, Jose, you haven't really said much on this. But
I mean, I haven't really seen much of that 70s show. I guess more of like a generation thing. I mean, I did see a couple, not much of it. I did see The Ranch though. That was with Ashton Kutcher, right, on Netflix.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, that I really enjoyed that. So I mean, I might have to like brush up a little more on that 70s show. But from the episodes that I do remember that I watched from that 70s show is hilarious, and I really enjoyed it. All the Star Wars references. So I think it'll be really, really interesting and cool to see the original cast coming back and seeing them again, and like Dave said, passing the torch onto like the newer generation, because I like when shows do that in like movies where they like pass the older cast comes to their show and like passes the torch onto the younger generation. So I mean, Ashton Kutcher, Mila Kunis, I mean, if we see them, that'd be really cool, because I like Mila Kunis and Ashton Kutcher as actors. I mean, Ashton Kutcher in The Ranch. I mean, you also have 2.5 Men, and the Mila Kunis, you have like Bad Moms and stuff like that. So I mean, I think it'd be really cool to see them in it too. So
yeah, for sure. And I had one more thing, but I completely forgot. I was going to ask Dave a question, and I just completely slipped my mind. Do you think we'll get Cheech? Cheech would be cool to have back on the show.
Oh, that would be amazing.
Leo?
We need to get, we got to get him
Leo
in at some point here.
Oh, yeah.
We have to get Leo, man. I mean, his disappearance was one of the biggest things of the show that I remember growing up.
Absolutely.
His disappearance was everyone was raged about it. I mean, they were like, if we don't get Leo back, we will stop watching.
Got to get it back.
They fixed real quick.
Yes, they did. You got to get it back.
But yeah, I mean, I think you got to get him in. I will say you are right that I think if you get everyone back except for Hyde, I think that's going to be an issue, and you're definitely going to feel it missing. If you just stick to like a few of them coming back at a time, I think you could, like I said, maybe distract.
You can pace it out, right? Yeah,
you can pace it out. Maybe people won't notice as much. But yeah, if you have a reunion of everyone there except for him, people are going to feel that. They're going to miss it. And the last thing I'll say I got going for it here is that I absolutely love Red and Kitty. I mean, we all joke in my family that my dad is Red Foreman, because he'll call you a dumbass all day long and make fun of you for not having any common sense, which he's probably right about. But their characters are I don't want to say well underutilized in that 70s show, but will be very well utilized in this show. I mean, they are absolutely amazing. and I can't wait to see what they do here. I think
Absolutely.
they're going to have a bigger part to play.
Yeah, those two actors are just great, and I can't wait to see them back too. But yeah, Dave, what's next?
Yeah, next we got April 2nd, directly following March Madness Final Four. The newest episode of Impractical Jokers is set to air with Joe Gatto gone. The first episode is set to have Eric Andre on as a guest star of the episode.
Oh,
Yeah,
Eric Andre.
look, I like Impractical Jokers. I don't think it's as great as a lot of people say it is, but look, I don't blame anybody for enjoying it. I think, well, no, look, I mean, look, I think after so long, it plays out the shtick, personally for me. But I don't hate the show. I think that I support those guys 100%. I think they're really cool guys. Actually, I know some people that know them, and I hear they're really cool guys, and I support everything they do. So nothing to do with that. And they got a movie, fantastic. You know, I think that's great. I support it. I'm positive about them. Yeah, losing a member of the group is obviously never easy for anything. We've had to deal with it, Lord knows, here over on this show multiple times, and it's rough every time.
You got me, baby. You ain't got no worries.
Now we're happy you can, but you know, like, yeah, it's rough every time.
The ups and downs, yeah.
And so I know far too well that feeling. Yeah, you know, I wish they had a permanent replacement. I think that would have been a better route to go, maybe. Again, this is coming from somebody who does not avidly watch, so but I think that just would have been a better route. I don't mind Eric Andre. I think that's a controversial choice for a guest star for a show that's a bit more on the family friendly side, but like, it doesn't bother me at all, not being an avid watcher. It'll be interesting to see. I'm thrilled for people who are massive Eric Andre fans, and I think that that's something for them to look forward to for sure. I don't know, Dave, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, Joe is definitely the biggest member of the group that everyone loves here. So
exactly.
I mean, it's hard to have him gone. I will say I'm not a big fan of Eric Andre, but that being said, I think with his like comedic persona, persona, yeah, I think he'll actually be a good addition to the team.
Yeah,
I'm excited to see him. I think it's going to be funny to see him in the situations they put him in. I think will play well, and I think it'll be pretty hilarious to see him in those situations. I think it is rumored that Eric Andre might be on for more than an episode. He might be even coming on. Oh, cool. But as far as we have confirmed, that's more just rumor. As far as we have confirmed, though, he's definitely just the guest star of the first episode there, for sure. So I think, like I said, I'm not a big Eric Andre fan. I do love Impractical Jokers. I don't think it's that family friendly, to be honest. There's been some pretty rough stuff on there, but
true.
I think Eric Andre definitely with his persona will be a good ad here, and I'm excited to see what he brings.
Yeah, no, you know, the one more thing I'll add about that to your point there, Dave, is you know, bringing on somebody else that's outside of that community is very smart to get new fans. I do think it is a smart business move. I don't want to take that away from them. I just think, and if he's the permanent fourth, then great. But you know, my thinking is, I think it just would have been better to replace and then have him as a guest star on top of that, because I have seen them have guest stars on, like celebrity guests, when they had their fourth member. So so I just think that might have been the better way to go personally. It's almost like we were talking about with this show, you know, like when Jose and I were just doing the two, you and I had a really good conversation together about, it's just great to have that extra voice there to fill it. You can almost feel it missing a little bit, and I felt the very same way about the show. You know, so like it's been missing for a long time. Now we have it, and it's great again. So you're doing a great job. But yeah, so I just think that you're welcome. But you know, I think that, you know, same rule will apply to them. Luckily they have three. A trio is better than a duo, if you ask me. That's just rule of thumb. But I just wonder how it's going to feel, you know, without an actual like permanent fourth there. Especially Joe being like the most popular. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I will say too that one thing it probably contributes to the decision of this too is it doesn't sound like Joe Gatto is out. You know, the terms of his leaving was family matters, and in terms of his leaving, it kind of sounds like he needs some time to straighten things up in his life, and he might be back for another season. So I think they may be trying to just fill the gap, fill the void, and maybe that's why they don't want to bring a fourth on, is because then you got to kick him off, kind of deal.
Well, it's like we were talking about with Hyde. You don't want to close the door, ever. But yeah, Jose,
Yeah.
you were going into something there. What were you saying there?
No,
Sorry
yeah. So
about
I was
that.
gonna say I agree with Dave. Like the fact that since he does say that Joe does say his family matters, I feel like that this is probably the best way to do it. To like every season have or every episode of the season have like a different celebrity guest to
Mhm.
kind of switch things up. Because
Sure.
as an avid watcher of Impractical Jokers,
You
it's
are an
like,
avid watcher. I was going to ask you that.
it's my favorite like comedy show. Still airs on TV. Honestly, like I
Uh-huh.
laugh every single time I watched every single episode of
Yeah.
Impractical Jokers. And I know basically every single episode by memory, by heart. And so to kind of accept that Joe Gatto's like completely out would be very heartbreaking. And so that's why I just feel like he's not out completely. It's just that he needs to go like figure stuff out and do what it is that he needs to do, and then he'll be back for the next season. And the having a different celebrity guest every episode is a pretty interesting and different take on for the show, and I think it can be very interesting and
Yeah.
can play out very well. And again, I mean, I'm not a big Eric Andre fan either, but I feel like he will bring something different to the show that people could actually really enjoy, and it could
Sure.
bring different audiences to the show.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for that. All right, Dave, what's next?
Alrighty, yeah, just a couple more here.
All right.
Jamie Lee Curtis raps on the Halloween franchise for the last time. Jamie Lee Curtis is retiring from the Halloween movies. Halloween ends with the last showdown between Laurie Strode and Michael Myers. This October 14th, Halloween ends.
Yeah. All right. Jose, I'm happy to say, I got him into this franchise, and so I'm just interested to hear your take.
Well, yeah, obviously, as we've said in the channel before, I had never seen any of the Halloween films, and Dom got me into them. We saw the original, we saw 2018, and then I saw Halloween Kills with a pre-screening,
Which we both enjoyed.
Despite
the hate.
Yeah, I honestly really enjoyed the Halloween Kills and what they did with it, and they left me wanting another one, and I'm glad that we're getting this Halloween Ends, and I'm ready to see.
Absolutely.
I just hope that this is like the end of the Halloween movies, at least for now. Like,
yeah, I think
I'm
it's
sure
time for a
we'll be.
break.
Because I mean, yeah, we need a break from as awesome it is to see Michael Myers in these movies. I think it is time to just take a break for now. I mean,
I
we
agree.
could have another movie like 6, 7, 8 years down the line, but I just think for now, we should need a break. And I really think that they could do very well with this Halloween Ends movie. I think that they'll find a way to kind of just end it for now.
I agree.
So I'm just ready to see what they bring in this movie in terms, with Michael Myers and with Jamie Lee Curtis's character.
Well, if anything, what I would love to see them, bring it to what Carpenter originally wanted to do with the franchise, and that is to create new stories within it. Not everything had to be Michael Myers. And if this one does well, I think that could be very cool to see them just try out new stories. Maybe we'll get a TV series of Halloween, like an anthology type thing where, each episode is just taking place on a different night of Halloween with a different story, something like that, but just keeping that core foundation of the tone of what makes Halloween. And, Dave, I know you were kind of mentioning to me earlier that this is your favorite horror movie or franchise, or I don't remember how you stated it, but
Yeah, horror movie or horror movies. I never really liked horror movies growing up. Something about
Either.
my brothers making me watch, Silver Bullet and locking me outside of my grandma's house at midnight, which, I love my brothers, but
great film.
They suck. So they did that to me. I didn't like horror movies much. I did like Silver Bullet, but yeah, coming back to horror movies now, I've had to watch the likes of Scream, which is the worst movie I've ever seen in my life.
Oh my God, really?
Jesus.
Oh, Dom. I mean, you were gonna box after this.
I love
This.
Scream.
Scream is trash, but
I haven't seen the latest Scream, but I love the first Scream.
Okay.
The original Scream I love. But anyway, I'm sorry.
yeah, the original Scream is awful, but yeah.
Oh.
But yeah, Halloween I'm a huge fan of.
Boxing
especially
fight.
this iteration. I wasn't a big fan. I just watched, and I got to finish it. I'm on like the third act here of Rob Zombie's. I'm actually a huge Rob Zombie fan. Did not like his Halloween movie at all, but the original Halloween movie, and then going into Halloween 2018, Halloween Kills. I really love it. Halloween Ends, I will say and confirm for you guys if you didn't know, it just like Halloween Kills takes off exactly where the last
Good.
one did.
Great.
So
Good,
that's
good,
one of
good,
the aspects I
good.
love about these movies is that it doesn't make sense for Michael to just keep fucking escaping.
Yeah.
So I do like that in this iteration we get Michael Myers in like a few short days of pure hell.
I agree.
It's been absolutely amazing, and I'm really happy that with this one they're going to close it out. I think it's perfect. They made a really good trilogy to the original.
Oh yeah,
I think so
And
too.
I've never
think
been
so
such
too.
a big
I
fan.
agree.
I've
I was
watched a
gonna-
lot of the horror
yeah.
movies now. This is by far my
was-
favorite. I love it.
I was gonna say I like how, you know, with 2018 kills and ends, it's literally like 2018, like kills picked up where 2018 left off, and now ends is gonna pick up where kills left off. I like how they've done that,
Yeah.
and this has been my favorite. Honestly, I mean, besides, I mean, I gotta wait for Quiet Place Part 3, but this has been my
Yeah.
favorite like horror trilogy ever,
Yeah.
because like just like you, I'm a pussy when it comes to horror movies. But how like the Halloween movies and Quiet Place movies, like those have been my favorite horror movies because they're not actually like horror. They have like, you know, the story base and all this other stuff that, you know, I really enjoy. And so I'm really excited for this Halloween Ends movie just to see it all wrap up, you know.
Yeah.
I concur with both points there. Yeah, absolutely. I can't wait. I just think it's great we're getting it so soon. Very excited
yeah.
about that. That
Back
excites
to
me.
back to
Yeah.
back, basically. Yeah. Can't
Absolutely.
wait.
And I will say, before I move on from this one,
Sure.
one of the things I have to mention for my girlfriend here is I know she hates the gore of the movie, but she does love that. Like I told you guys the other day when we were talking about The Last Jedi, we finally get like a female lead who is beat up. Not that we want to see women beat up, but again,
But I don't disagree
my-
with
my
you on that though. In
girlfriend-
this case,
Yeah.
yeah.
my girlfriend is really getting into movies now. One of the things she hates is you always get like the female lead that comes out picture perfect as the same
Yeah,
way she
never
went
beat
in.
up,
And in
yeah,
this
yeah.
movie, Jamie Lee Curtis gets her ass kicked, and she does
And
some
if-
ass kicking.
And I was gonna
And
say,
she is so great to
Yeah.
see in action. I mean, her action sequences in this movie are fucking awesome.
I
She's
agree.
prepared. She's still gonna go down. She's still gonna get hurt. And I mean, I out of a female lead especially, I've just never seen so much like heart, action, and willpower to beat the enemy. No, despite all the scarring and getting her ass kicked that she's been through.
yeah, I was gonna say, like, I feel like it makes it better for when the woman lead comes out like all beat up and like scarred and stuff. It just makes them that much more powerful, and they're acting like that much better when it comes to movies. I just feel like it works better that way, and I just really enjoy when they do that, especially with Jamie Lee Curtis. Like her performances have been
She's been
phenomenal.
killer
throughout-
since
yeah,
the
oh,
start,
she's
yeah.
100%, and yeah, she's just been killer for these movies, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously we'll, start talking more about, what's going to happen here, in this movie, as time, as we get closer to the release. So, I'm excited for sure as well. So, Dave, go ahead and take us out here. What's our last story?
Yes, very last story. I have been renewed for season 3. Yep. FXX renewed me for season 3, and I'm ready to go.
All right. Is that really it?
Yeah, sorry. Oh, maybe you guys didn't understand the context. Dave
No.
with a little Dicky has been renewed for
Oh,
season 3 by
oh,
FXX.
no.
Or FXX. Yes,
Wait,
he's been
has?
renewed.
What?
Yes, he has.
Oh
So
my god.
I'm sure it's going to be after he works on his album, but I
Oh,
have
yeah.
been renewed. I am back in action and
There
ready
we
to
go.
go.
I was getting ready to say,
actually-
FX can renew you all you want. You're on a 30-day free trial with us, bud. We don't like you. We're
Yeah.
going to cancel you. No, look.
Fair enough.
No,
Oh my
I'm kidding.
goodness.
I'm kidding.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Now that oh my god, I have so much to say. Like this show is honestly,
Now that he gets
like,
it.
I've killed
Like-
Jose's world.
bro, it's one of my favorite shows right now going. Like, it's so funny, and like the celebrities he gets in the show, and the comedic aspect that he puts into the, like, it's two different people, like in the show we get Dave Bird, and then obviously from his music with Lil Dicky. So like it's really cool to see this different aspect, this different version of Lil Dicky in this show, and I really enjoyed it. I laughed every single episode, and I'm really excited to see what he does with the season 3. Obviously after he finishes his album and releases it. I can't wait.
Which I'm sure he's already working on hard.
Oh,
right now.
100. I mean, he probably started working on it like while he was shooting it. Well, once season 2 came out, he was probably already working on it.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I'm just really excited to see what he brings for season 3, because I really enjoyed season 1 and 2. So I can't wait for it to drop on Hulu, and I'm gonna be there watching them. It's great.
Dave,
Some
are
great
you
stuff.
a fan of this too?
I mean, yeah, he's Dave Bird.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Like I said, I'm a really I don't want to say big Lil Dicky fan, but I like him a lot. Every song I've listened to by him, I've really been a fan of. So I haven't started Dave yet, but I'm definitely going to be
Oh, dude,
starting
you need
it.
to. You need to.
And I really look forward to it. He looks really funny. So I've
Oh,
seen
yeah.
a lot of the trailers. I've seen a lot of the snippets. My buddies have sent me memes on it, so it looks really interesting, and I can't
Yeah,
wait to watch it.
I'll tell you right now, as someone who's seen both seasons, you need to watch it. Like, this show is great, and I already know season 3 is gonna be as good, if not better, than season 2. I'm excited.
Look, I don't watch the show. I'm not a massive Lil Dicky fan. I mean, I like him a lot, like as a person. Like he seems like a funny dude, and I love that about him. He's talented for sure, to say the least. But look, I don't watch the show, but it's definitely on my radar. I know it's one I got to check out. I can't wait for that. And Dave, rest assured that your joke there was really clever. We're just stupid. So
Thank you.
Yeah, but look,
It was meant
over-
to screw with you guys for a minute. I was meant to make it say, "Wait, what the hell are you talking about?"
It went over
drop
all
it.
of our,
Good.
it went over when you said I was renewed for I thought you meant there was an actual show called I.
Oh
Yeah.
no, I'm glad. I was hoping to confuse the
But
hell out of
it
you guys
went-
for a minute there and get you going. What
it
are
went
you
over
saying? What
It
is?
went over my head.
I
It
thought
went
he
over
was
my
saying
head.
like he's gonna be on with us for 3 more years or something. I thought that's what he was getting at. And
You see,
so
we
like,
took it we took it 2 different ways,
Yeah.
because I thought you were talking about a
Yeah.
show called I was like, what the fuck?
So yeah, all right.
Oh, yeah.
Well, good job there,
Uh,
Dave. Yeah.
Thank you.
job, good
And
job, good
if it's okay with you, I'd also like to just rapid fire through this last thing. Here,
Yes,
the
yes. So
releases for
Dave
for
is
you
bringing
guys
us a
and the
news
fans.
segment, right? This is go ahead and tell what it's all about there, Dave.
Yeah, definitely. I don't even know if this will be a segment, but I just think it's just something important for
cool.
us here and anyone watching to know is we got a bunch of releases here. A lot of news. One that we already went over is that Free Guy is now streaming on Disney Plus and HBO Max. If you guys want to watch it, go catch it there. Spielberg's new West Side Story will be coming to HBO Max on March 2nd.
Oof, I'm there.
Oh yeah. F9. Why don't they stop? I guess it's coming to stream on HBO Max on March 5th, though, so deal with it. We got Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, Iron Fist, The Punisher, and The Defenders all coming to Disney Plus on March 16th. So if you want to catch those, you can catch them on Disney Plus March 16th. And lastly, sorry, go ahead.
I was just saying, I mean, those are all on Netflix right now, but I guess they're also, I don't know if they're going to stay on Netflix or if they're just
No, they're
all
leaving
done-
Netflix.
They're
They
coming
got
off,
announced.
yeah.
They're coming
Oh,
on Netflix. Yeah,
wow.
if you
And-
go there
and-
now, it tells you on the white spot.
Oh,
the
yeah,
white
so
text.
leaving-
Yeah, it lets you know.
like leaving so
Right.
And
Okay.
there'll be more
Okay.
to follow. I forgot what the other one, but the other ones are set to follow. That just isn't confirmed yet. It will be later than March 16th for sure. And then lastly, if you haven't seen Halloween Kills, we just talked about it. Great movie. You can go catch that on HBO Max March 18th.
All right.
Hey, let's go.
I love that. All right. Thanks, Dave. Appreciate that a lot. And yeah, guys, look, that's going to wrap it up for today. You guys got to let us know what you think of the new format here. Comment that below and all that. And yeah, let Dave know he's doing a great job here with us. Yeah, please.
Yeah,
he is.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get so many trash comments now. Trash.
Hopefully they congratulate you on your renewal for season 3. But
Yeah.
let's see. Yeah, but look, guys, that'll be it for this episode of Movie Mornings. I had a lot of fun. We hope you guys had fun with us. This was a great episode, a great time. Before we go, Dave, where can people find you?
Oh man, I'm so unprepared.
Even better,
People can
Jose,
find
where can
me-
people find you while Dave figures that out?
Y'all can find me Type 1 Latino all together, all lowercase, on all socials and on stereo.
All right. And you can find me, and I'll go back to Dave here in a second. You can find me on Twitter at Dom_Martino_, and on Instagram, Dom_Martino_official. And Dave, you ready?
Yes,
Where
sir.
people
You
find
can add me on Snap or Instagram at BKingDavid. That's BKING David. You can also follow me on Facebook at David Tresch. And more importantly, if you live in Florida or Chicagoland area, be sure to hit up iPanic Escape Rooms. Go ahead and
Hey.
check out that website.
Hell yeah. And we thank you for joining us here today, sir. And Jose as well. Thank you again. It's always a pleasure. Look, guys, this will be the end of it for today. Please go follow the... I'm sorry, did you have something?
No, I was just gonna say, I don't know if we wanted to announce it here that Dave and I will be doing stereos on Sundays.
Yes.
For,
Yes.
yes. For NRX. Yeah. So catch us on stereo on Sundays. We'll be doing some podcast, some like stereos there. So
All right. Yeah, sounds good. Definitely do that, guys. I'll try to tune in to those when I can, but I will not be available most of those days. So hopefully they put on a great show for you guys, and let me know if they're doing terribly. I'll just fire them. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, have fun doing the solo.
Yeah, I'm kidding. You guys are here to stay as far as I'm concerned. You're here as long as you'll let me have you. But look, guys, follow the Anorax pages on Twitter at Anorax Official, Instagram, the same thing, Anorax Official. Please like this video, subscribe to the channel, leave feedback in the comment section, share this with your friends, hit the bell for notifications. If you're listening on Spotify, head over to the YouTube channel and do that. youtube.com/c/Anorax. And if you're watching on YouTube, head over to Spotify. Check us out there. All the episodes will be up. And yeah, thank you so much, guys. We have a dog review out right now. Check that out. We also have a review for Uncharted, so check that out as well. We appreciate you guys tuning in, and that'll do it. We'll talk to you guys later.